we're going to see Louis versus DeMu. So definitely top players right off the bat here, facing off against each other. Lakeside is going to be the start here. We'll see Ottomans coming in for Louis. Definitely a civilization that he really likes to play. I see him play Ottomans a lot. And DeMu on the other side, I feel like it's partially on me. I want to take credit for that. I've redeemed OOTD a lot in Demu's chat, and now I see him picking them a lot. So I'll take the credit for that one.
Yeah, and so you can also kind of see with OOTD's civil or Demu civilization pick, he also got HRE. He's also got his Mali, which is another civilization that we know he is very, very comfortable with. So not a bad set for him. But on the other side, we know how Byzantines is. Louis' first choice, it looks like, was the Byzantine civilization.
Yeah, Byzantine, obviously really, really strong. One of those civilizations that can just bring out an insane amount of units in the mid game onto the field. And for a lot of other civilizations, it's kind of difficult to hold up against that. If you don't have a civilization that really starts off with a lot of early tempo, you might not be able to catch the Byzantines at a point in time where they don't have a lot of units out on the field. And if they get to the point where they do have a lot of units out on the field, where they do have that constant olive oil income, it might be too late at that point in time.
Yeah. And that's kind of one where it feels like every civ has their little few weaker points. You just got to take advantage of them. And that's where these high level players are so good at doing that. These timing attacks and these kind of pressure points, 30 seconds can really just be the difference between clutching up a game and being able to close it out, or just having it extend out and become one of those 45-minute slugfests.
Exactly. I'm looking at the rest of the draft from Louis. There are also some other really, really strong civilizations. Ayubids definitely strikes me as one of those civilizations that in many matchups can just feel incredibly overbearing or just really difficult to deal with when you get the camel lancers and a combination of like mass camel lancers and archers. I feel like the transition period with Ayubids at the moment is just so smooth. Like when other civilizations go for their 2 TC play and they just rush up to the castle age with the Eco Ring Grove, suddenly they caught up in the villager department and have that tech advantage. It's such a dangerous timing to play up against. So many civilizations can struggle against that.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where, you kind of look at the civs and then you try to kind of project out with the maps on what the matchups are going to end up being. So is there anything that kind of sticks out to you, that DeMu or Louis might be saving for Four Lakes specifically, as that's the only real hybrid one left on the pick pool left for them?
Yeah, Four Lakes, I will definitely say that's definitely a Japan map for DeMu. He's got Japan in his draft, and Four Lakes definitely a map where Japan feels right at home. On the other side, Louis, what could he pick on Four Lakes? Ayubids, I think they get a decent timing still on Four Lakes. Maybe Jean could be an interesting pick there. Though I guess Louis, similar to CSO, they just really prefer Jean on an open land map where they can make full use of like a mass spam of knights. And I think we gotta also just like get a little bit of a prediction going here. How do you think the set is going to go overall?
This is one of these that I think is going to be a back and forth one. I'm going to go with 3-2 for loueMT over here.
Looks like we're getting exposed. We did put up our predictions beforehand, so now we can actually see the predictions from all our casters and all our staff here at the front side. All right, looks. Can take a look at Marine versus Boltian here, going from left to right side. Okay. I see a lot of people are favoring Marine Lord here in this one. I think Boltian can take a game off him. I'll be honest. I think he can do some wild shenanigans and maybe catch him off guard there.
It could end up happening, but I'm not too sure if. I still think it's a far out chance for Baltoon to be able to take a game off of Marine Lord, even if Marine Lord's not feeling it, woke up on the wrong side of the bed that morning.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance, right? There's always a chance, especially at the level that these players are operating at the moment. You don't practice enough. Maybe you wake up with a little bit of a weird mood. You're not feeling in peak shape, and that's a situation where, like, even somebody that isn't necessarily set up to be the winner of a set can still take off some games and maybe even go for an upset.
Yeah, and that's where there's going to have to be a few of those upsets here, as some of these series you can already see it very, very one-sided as some of these predictions go. Wham versus Mahodo, you don't see anyone thinking that Mahodo is going to be able to take a game, but there's always some surprising strategies. There's always some surprising things that you could end up trying to pull out of the hat.
Yeah, looking at our next set here, Louis versus DeMu. Looks like a lot of people are actually favoring Louis here in this one, but I'm gonna be the outlier here. I think DeMu can definitely win this. Definitely, like I think he's in good shape at the moment when it comes to competitive and especially longer games. I think he's gonna be in a good spot here.
Yeah, and I mean that is one where we have seen some of these players like to play those extended games, everything out and about, and seeing a lot of people thinking loueMT is going to be able to take a game off of Beastie as well. So a lot, it's always exciting seeing the casters' predictions, as some of them might know a little bit more inside about the game than others. But enough of that. Jumping into game number 1 of Louis versus DeMu.
Indeed, here we go. Lakeside is going to be the name of the game here, so we immediately should have a dock opening from both players here, as we do have those little, I want to say, like coastal regions towards the back of each player's base, where there is actually a single spot of deep sea fish that players will have access to. Definitely a food source that you will want to make use of. And indeed, both players will open up with that dock. I think you can go up to like 3, 4, maybe even 5 fishing ships here at the beginning without really like being too overbearing on the fishing economy here. Definitely going to pay off for you.
Yeah.
The question is, when's the feudal age transition going to be here for them? Because it's also just really important of taking control over the water, because then you can go on your opponent's side and take their fish as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is one you mentioned how many fishing boats on out there. I feel like you said 3, 4, but the good thing is there are a few shoreline fish. So if you do oversaturate that one single deep sea fish, you can always take a few of the strips off and let those fish kind of continue to spawn with each other and merge back up to where that food will keep coming back for the long term of the game.
Exactly, and all of this early food economy, it just has that chance to really propel you through the mid game, kind of like makes you skip the early game entirely. Like on maps like these, typically we only see very, very short feudal age timings. Like players, they will try to harass each other on water, and if it's not working out for a player on water, they're immediately just going to be like, okay, yeah, water is gone, but I'm not going to stick around in feudal age. I'm just going to go castle age immediately.
Yeah, and this is one where, Ottomans, I feel like, is one of those civilizations. They don't really have a lot of extra food or economic upgrades for them. So having an extra water economy to help spur them along a little bit to get to their kind of past their pain points in the game can really help loueMT to kind of get out on the right foot here.
Ooh. Look at this. DeMu saving the wood that he would need for mining camp. He does have that bonus with the OTD villagers in general, shared with the HRE. They carry 40% more resources baseline. So these 4 villagers only need 2 trips that he can afford going for without a mining camp here. And he's gonna, just like that, have already enough gold in order to go up to feudal age. That's gonna be a nice timing for him.
Yeah, very, very nice timing. I feel like I've been starting to see this a little bit more on some of these hybrid water maps where people aren't going right out and sending villagers on gold. They'll just do a few long drop-offs. Usually it's with the quicker age up timings with the U-bids, but even still, you'll see it with other civilizations, and that's what DeMu opted for. Doesn't have to use the mining camp with the chapel over there.
Yeah, now both players aging up, but the Archon Chapel with 7 OTD villagers is definitely going to be going up first here. Sultanite Trade Network, though, means that Louis, he's immediately going to get a lot more economy coming in as well. But we know the Archon Chapel. When it comes to economic landmarks, that one has to be sitting right at the top.
Yeah, it's near and dear to everyone's hearts. Even whether it's Order of the Dragon, whether it's HRE, the chapel is just always been one of the S tier landmarks out there. You can see DeMu went for 4 fishing boats, just to looks like a forced drop off there, and feudal age has come through for him.
Yeah, very quick timing here. Louis, he's going to need like another 20, 30 seconds here in order to be able to go up to the next age. And that's what we talked about earlier. Like these timings where it's like a 20, 30-second difference, they can make all the difference. But David doesn't quite have the wood yet that he needs in order to start getting an attack ship out onto the water.
Yeah, and this is one where that early water pressure can be very scary. And there, finally, Galley is in queue. Should be heading across here in the next, 30 seconds or so. But Louis, he's going to have that timing. He's going to be able to react and shouldn't have too big of a deal. Already moving out to Stone. And it's not a 2, 3, 4 villagers moving out to Stone. This is a massive expedition. This is making me think second TC.
I don't think that's second TC because you see, Louis, he has the resource for it, but he's not dropping a mining camp. I think this is just going to be for an emplacement on the dock.
Okay, so just once for an emplacement on the dock. Yeah, he doesn't end up dropping a mining camp. I was wondering, I mean, that's a lot of villagers for a commitment like that. Only 3 fishing boats, so we'll be able to just jump on inside of the dock. Won't have any worry as far as that long-term... Caster Curse.
Fishing ship.
Caster Curse.
Curse successful.
Well, does end up losing a ship. It was a little bit greedy. I feel like he wanted to have a little bit more food before the drop-off, and instead loses out on it. And now DeMu gets, I would say, a little bit of the leg up early, but he's been committing into this water harder and harder. Not only is it the galley, it's a demo ship, it's a sprinkled ship, and it's another galley in queue. He wants to fully deny Louis' water.
Yeah, I mean, DeMu, he is going to have to invest, right? Now with the emplacement, it is going to be a little bit tougher, a good bit tougher actually for him to just take that dock down. And we're actually seeing Louis investing into a demo ship. So he's focusing down that Hulk right now. And if DeMu doesn't pay attention here, this could be big, but Archer ship immediately gets the connection in.
Oh, and barely gets out of range. DeMu just looked like a needle as far as how close it was. And now... that's just a demo ship thrown out and down the drain for the most part, but DeMu has to reset, has to regroup here as the dock emplacement has been causing quite a bit of damage over that time.
Yeah, not just that. Behind this, Louis, he's just going for the fast castle age now.
And he's not too far away from being able to drop that up. You can see how many resources DeMu has been investing into this. Meanwhile, Louis, it's been a demo ship, and it has been that one single dock emplacement.
Now Louis is going to be able to click up within the next couple of moments. Immediately goes for the Vizier point as well. He's going to have 2 Imams, so he's going to get relic control. With that, it's not going to feel that bad losing out on the waterfront here. So he's not going to get the fish, but he is going to get the relics for it. Demo ship comes out.
Demo jumps out at the perfect timing, but it's just still going to be a little too late. Another demo comes in from DeMu and is able to secure up that water, or more importantly, deny it from Louis, but the MIA is on the way. 12 villagers. Louis is ready to get this rolling.
Looks like DeMu somehow lost his scout in between the process, but he does have a stable up, so he's going to be able to remake that scout. Yeah, it looks like he lost it to Louis' scout in the back of the base there. Yeah, Louis, he's going to be in a great spot now with this castle age timing. Sure, he lost water, but if you can secure 4 relics behind this, you're still going to be in a pretty decent spot.
Absolutely, and he is in prime position to be able to secure those relics. You can see that DeMu hasn't... Whoa, that was... okay, but DeMu is actually now starting to prep triple military buildings. He knows he needs to kind of take some map pressure... Oh, no, double military buildings. Take some map presence and deny some relics. Speaking of scout getting thrown away, Louis almost losing the next scout if DeMu jumped inside real quick.
Yeah, did DeMu already research Pro Scout? We are seeing, triple scouts coming in from him at the moment. He has already gotten Pro Scouts in. Okay, so he, in theory, can just immediately start getting a lot of these deer off the map. That's going to be a very, very solid food income source for him, on top of having the water. So Louis definitely still going to be in a timer, even if he's getting all of these relics in now. I would have said, okay, if it's just the relics, then Louis going to be in a good spot. But now with the relics and the Pro Scout play, DeMu's definitely looking to be in a good spot. And now Burgrave Palace as well. This is going to be a very aggressive castle age, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Burgrave is usually, if you just go super, super quick into Burgrave, it's this timing that doesn't have a lot of oomph behind it. You don't have that actual food economy. Meanwhile, you just talked about it. DeMu has fish behind this. He has pro scouts. He's starting to bring that deer back in, and his food economy is going to be through the roof. It's going to be hard to stop this kind of onslaught that's going to be able to run across the map. But the big thing here is now Louis has been able to kind of stabilize this economy, have these relics, but is he going to have a long-term food resource for himself?
That is going to be the question. First Man-at-Arm, Gilded Man-at-Arm, is going to be in queue immediate for DeMu. Does also have the double archer range, and there's one really, really strong unit here for the Order of the Dragon. It is going to be that Gilded Crossbow. They have so much base damage. They pretty much feel like a hand cannoneer that you can have access to with long range in the Castle Age.
Yeah, and you can see DeMu already has the double range prepped. He's going to have the Men-at-Arm starting to move. The question is what is he prioritizing first? Louis moving out to the third middle relic, so that will mean 4 relics secured for himself, as I don't think DeMu's going to be able to move out in time to deny that one.
Yeah, especially not with slow units. Some villagers now also moving out from Louis. Gets now a post up at the front line of his base. And we are going to see some walls coming in for him. So he's going to start segmenting off that map. It's going to make it a little bit tougher for DeMu to approach him from a lot of the part of the middle map. Means Louis, he can focus on one side and one side only.
Yeah, and this is super important for him because it doesn't allow DeMu to steal the rest of the deer from his side of the map, and it secures some of that food for himself. Louis is already having to move out to those front berries, and that's really the last food that's very, very close and safe. There's that one other berries next to that wood line, but even still very, very those resources go away very quick when it gets to these later stages of the game and you got more villagers.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pump out a lot of units, then definitely those units will, well, those resources are going to expire fairly quickly. I like what Louis done at the beginning. He's kind of setting himself up for like a potential mass Janissary play as well. And what's cool about this is with his landmark, the Sultanite Trade Network, he's already going to get a lot of gold passively, and combine that with the relics, his passive gold income, like, it's absolutely going to be crazy, the amount of passive gold that he will get throughout this game. And Janissaries, they pretty much only cost gold, like 60 food, 100 gold. If you can get a big mass of them out, there has been a change. So crossbows, they don't deal any bonus damage to Janissaries anymore.
Yeah,
they're not that effective against them.
It kind of, they changed it up where it's the archers are that true counter to the Janissaries, not as much crossbows anymore. And so that now, DeMu, you don't see any archers. It is that crossbow mass. He's got 4 more gilded crossbows in queue. Even so still, though, those are some gilded units. 4 gilded units in queue is a ton of resources tied up.
Yeah, not just that. I mean, we can see just looking at the military count right now, DeMu, he's got 36 military population worth of units out. Granted, 2 of those are ships, 3 of those are scouts, but it's still a lot.
Yep, and now encounters the wall. Louis finishes it at the perfect timing. There's still a pathway through the middle, but DeMu might just want to start burning that down for, I think he just clicked on the outside, realizes there's just a way through and might be able to just run on past.
Yeah. I mean, what's going to be the great idea here? I think Louis, okay, he's going into the right unit now. He is starting to get up some Sapai as well, which I think you'll definitely need just a good amount of them in order to start hitting the backline from DeMu, just pushing through, going onto these crossbows. If you get like 10, maybe 12 Sapai out, you should be able to potentially one-shot those crossbows.
Yeah, and Sapahi's just so much more effective at actually being able to close down on that back line, circle around with that just a little bit extra range and damage that they got. And DeMu, his pop, though, he is just still massing up quickly, and this is where that little bit of extra water could prove to be the difference. Mangonel has arrived from the MIA. I think there's a second one out, slowly rolling on across.
DeMu is going for the capturing on the sacred sites now himself. So we'll at least get some additional passive gold trickle in. The good thing is he did go for the Burgrave. So as long as he keeps producing units of that, he's going to save roughly like 300 to 400, depending on if he gets like the blacksmith upgrade for faster production. 300 to 400 resources every minute from that. Having only 1 relic, that's a lot more value than he would have gotten out of the Recnuts in this game.
We just saw a massive move out from DeMu, and Louis scouted it, and I think he even had a military unit there. Oh my
A
god, he's
double
got his two
Janissaries.
Janissaries
The
there.
villagers, they're going for the kill though. They're pulling the ships, and yeah, I mean, he has enough. And these are Order of the Dragon villagers, so Janissaries was a nice play there.
If that had been like
But,
any
yeah,
other
it's
unit than Janissaries, if those had been, you know, 2 men-at-arms, they would have been able to tank that villager mass for quite some time. But Louis still has the knowledge that DeMu moved out with the massive villagers onto that gold. Not sure if he can do anything to punish it. Not sure if he can, you know, make that reaction. But the knowledge is still good to have.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Louis, he has the walls, right? So he could, in theory, at any point in time, attack from the far left angle. DeMu doesn't have that option right now. He could only attack from the right side.
Looks
or
like
push through the wall, but that takes time and alerts Louis.
Yeah, it looks like he's still just kind of posturing through the middle, making sure to secure up these last few deer on the front side, on Louis' side, actually. Looks like there's 2 more deer on the front side of those walls, and Louis has had to move out, like we talked about. Food is going to be his problem.
Oh, the cell forest there. DeMu now putting an outpost there as well. Will want to have that static vision through the cell forest to just be aware with whatever's going on. Also just indirectly gives him a lot of protection on those sacred sites, which he has now started triggering that sacred site victory condition.
Yeah, this is one of those that I feel like, you know, at first you're not really capturing them to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to win the game with sacred sites. But all of a sudden, a few minutes go by, the game starts to progress, the stalemate, this posturing in the middle starts to happen, and then sacred sites at 5 minutes, it starts to become a real win condition, starts to put some pressure on Louis. He might have to play in different ways than he wanted to.
For a second, I thought Louis might want to go to Imperial Age, just get that increased production speed from all of his military schools coming in. Then he just suddenly started queuing up a lot more supply. Okay, cancel them again. Okay, he's queuing them up again. All right, now I'm confused again regarding the game plan. But we do have mangonels pushing forward now from Louis, so DeMu is going to have to cancel that outpost. We'll have to be really careful, though. If you lose those mangonels, that's a lot of value down the drain.
Yeah, and DeMu has started to make a 3rd unit in production, and it's not just that men-at-arms crossbow mass. He's going to have his own gilded horsemen, which those things are very, very tanky and are going to be great at trying to circle around the backside to close in on the mangonels. Louis, he does have the Janissaries. The mass, though, he just hasn't been able to build up that mass quite high enough.
He's going to find out just how much damage they do. Just 4... Those were just 4 crossbows, half health after 2 volleys. And he's got 20 of them. He's going to be able to easily one-shot supplies with this many.
Yeah, DeMu reinforcing that position too. Has 1 outpost with Sprue and placements about to finish up, but the mangonels able to get some shots. They just need another volley, and I believe that outpost will go down. Horsemen, though, able to get... Horsemen just dive into the mangonel mass, but Janissaries crossbows were there to defend. However, DeMu gets another volley in himself. Villagers there to heal up that outpost back to full, and now getting some reinforced stone onto those towers as well.
Oh, this is starting to get really, really dangerous though for Louis. I mean, he just saw the military mass from DeMu, and he decided not to take the fight. That tells us, okay, he is not confident in his ability to win that fight. And I would agree with him. That is not a fight that you're likely to win there. Matter is now coming in as well, so is going to buff up his military quite a bit. I'm still just looking at this. I'm thinking, okay, Louis, what is the chance here now for him to win in this one? He's vastly behind the military numbers. Now, granted, OTD units, they're not exactly as efficient as 2 units on the opposite side. Like a crossbow is worth maybe like 1.5 crossbows, and with enough damage like that, it still takes the same amount of time to kill them with a volley from the backline. So we're about to find out just how well this fight is going to go. Outpost emplacements, fortifications are going to be coming through those. That's a lot of damage just ramping up here.
Yeah, and the scary thing for Louis here is their stealth force right behind this. DeMu taking the fights, closing the gap, has the reinforcements from the sprinkled emplacement towers. Horsemen not able to circle, but the mangonels have not gotten any volleys off. Louis continuing to kite back. Janissaries helping out that backside. 1 mangonel should end up falling. 2nd mangonel starting to get focused down as well. But the men-at-arms mass from DeMu is just proving to be such a good and tanky front line. Clears up all the mangonels and still on the backside of the Janissaries.
Yeah, it's just still so much military out here from DeMu. The crossbow mass basically hasn't even been touched at all. We're still up at 22 crossbows, 7 minutes remaining on the Sacred Side victory condition. But Louis, he's gonna really have to start thinking, okay, how can I come back in this situation as his military just didn't achieve absolutely anything, and he lost all of his mangonels for it.
Yeah, DeMu's got to be feeling really good after that fight. The big question for me is, as DeMu, do you think you would reinforce your sacred site positioning even more? Or do you think you press your advantage there? You know you just wiped all of Ottoman's army, or not, maybe not all, but the majority of it, and that's usually Ottoman's strength point. So feel like that Louis really is at this vulnerable point that DeMu could take advantage of.
I mean, we know DeMu, and we look at the resource per minute that he's getting. He's getting 700, 800 stone per minute, so I feel like the game plan is pretty clear from that point of view, and indeed we are going to see a keep getting dropped the front line. I wouldn't even be surprised if DeMu behind this were to go for something like an Elsbach.
I always laugh at some of these keeps and tower positionings. He's like, it's like just off to the side where it's like, he's like, I want to kind of try to protect both of them, but in reality, it kind of protects neither of them in a sense. But as he just continues to reinforce the positionings, the spring placements, everything does just continuing to add up further and further. And more importantly, he has 100 military mass. Obviously, Order of the Dragon, those units numbers count for a little bit more, but even still, massive military that DeMu has.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason why this keep still works is the crossbows. The gilded crossbows, they got 6 tiles of range, so they got an entire tile, well, a tile more than archers do, but even more than janissaries do. So these crossbows, they can attack from very, very far away. Janissary, if I recall correctly, yeah, only 4 tiles of range on them. And so you get a big range advantage, and there it is. Elsbach Palace is going to be coming in for DeMu. He's going to thoroughly secure up those sacred sites, and with the Elsbach Palace, these buildings barely take any damage now.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is there's so much stone all around these positionings that he's dropping these towers and keeps, so he's just able to continue to drop more and more outposts and keeps and get upgrades on all of these. There's the massive stone vein, and then there's 2 more stones next to the other sacred site as well that I don't think he's even touched.
Yeah, there's still a lot of stone available. He can put a couple more keeps down there.
This map generation was like, this sacred site is going to be protected. Just take the sacred site and you'll be good to go.
Forward Siege Workshop now coming in for Louis. He's got a lot of units out on the field for, like, when you look at a normal OTD Ottoman army. Over 40 Janissaries, that's a lot. That's a lot of units. Still, I'm looking at DeMu's army, and the numbers just tell me, okay, 30 gilded crossbowmen, they would absolutely wipe the floor with that army.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those where Louis just took that fight a little bit early. If he had 3-4 more mangonels right now and had that bigger mass, it'd be pretty close to even, and DeMu might be hitting pop cap soon. Same thing with Louis, but instead, Louis just feels like he is not only a few steps behind here, as we've seen how much reinforcements that DeMu's been able to put into these sacred sites. It feels like a good amount of his economy is just on stone for walls, keeps, and upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't even been making that much use of the Burgrave, right? He's got like 10 men-at-arms, 9 spearmen. But every single one of these units just so tanky, relatively cheap, and if he loses units, that's the most important point for the OTD usually. It takes a big while for them to remass. But having the Burgrave, having the potential to cheaply and quickly remass your units, it makes a big difference. And yeah, I mean, DeMu now getting the elite upgrades in as well. He's got so much military out on the field. In fact, he's population capped right now. So he can just invest more and more now into these defensive buildings, just go for repairs, go for a relic even gets put inside of the Elsbach. And that means that he's gonna have, there we go. He's going to have a very big defensive advantage here.
You know what? At this point, just delete some villagers. Let's get more military into these sacred sites. There's no way Louis would be able to take that down. But I laugh at how slow this Treb push is going to be now, because this isn't even, I mean, obviously we see the Elsbach next to it, but there's a TC being dropped there by DeMu as well, which emergency repair is going to be online.
Yeah, so you're going to have that helping him out as well.
Relics in
gonna be-
L's back, and I mean, this
It's gonna
positioning.
be so tough to take that castle down. He's even putting the relic inside of the castle that's giving attack now, so it's gonna be even more armor on that.
This is one where this reminds me of like the King of the Hill, where it's like, all right, do you have enough trebs to start this push in time to deny the sacred site? Like, DeMu has entrenched himself in this position, has a huge military, but Louis gotten to the point, 4, almost 5 trebs, and he is starting to put some pressure on DeMu. There's still a minute 40 left, and he just needs to be the one to step on the sacred site and kind of stall this timer on out.
Oh, he's got a big army, but still, I'm looking at the military mass from DeMu, and I'm like, he can probably still take a fight there fairly easily. Relic.
I mean,
it's taken out again. It's getting put into the Elsbach.
I mean,
happening.
Yeah, especially with 4 or 5 towers of reinforcements and keeps, this is hard to push. It's hard to take this fight, but Louis has to take it. This is what the sacred sites are doing. Mangonel's finally stepping up. Good first, second shots onto those crossbows. Doesn't look like DeMu was microing those too much, but will it even matter? His numbers are still staying strong. The keeps are up. The towers and outposts are still up. And Louis, his mass is thinning out so much. The crossbows, the gilded crossbows, they're still just continuing to step. And Louis has nothing left.
At the end of all of this, the keep is still up. The Elsbach is still up. Units that fight at the front are going to take damage from the outpost with the Springle placement, from the keep, from the Elsbach Palace. Mangonel's just not gonna be enough in the situation, and Louis, he has to fall back with less than a minute remaining on the sacred side.
And that is one where you know it's kind of just written in stone. A few more Sipahi coming in for reinforcements. DeMu, he only has the crossbows left on the front line, but that's still not enough Sipahi to push into the keeps, to push into the outposts. Well, one keep has finally fallen, but it just seems too late. 34 seconds and ticking down.
And Louis, he knows he's gonna have to start moving units onto the sacred side, but whenever he does so, they're gonna start taking a lot of damage. I mean, the Elsbach, it's gonna take a while to go down, even with a Great Bombard and 5 trebuchets hitting at it. Well, about to be no Great Bombard.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only military Louis has left was the siege, and that's all that he was able to keep alive. He had to send his front line forward, has to dive on his backside, but Mangonels are falling, trebuchets are falling, and Louis falls. DeMu takes game number 1.
Oh man, a solid sacred side victory here coming in for DeMu. Great opening in this set for him. Looking at the total resource gathered as well, Louis, I mean, there's a big gap, 14,000 resource difference here. I feel like not all of it came down to water, but mainly just the Order of the Dragon villager scaling working absolutely phenomenally here, as well as the early Pro Scout play just saves DeMu so much time, gives him such an easy time when it comes to the farm transition there. And he just produced so many units, taking the sacred sites. It all worked out splendidly here for him.
Yeah, we saw like later in the stages of the game, we saw Louis' base get hovered, and it wasn't even his base. It was all the way outside where those deer were, and he had full farms around those. And as Ottomans, you're not getting any bonuses. Those aren't around a chapel. You don't have Order of the Dragon villagers gathering from those. So he just did not have the same type of eco to be able to support the mass. We saw the numbers that DeMu was able to push behind it, but now both of these players, we're getting water out of the way first. 4 lakes is the next choice.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. So Japan is kind of what we expected coming out here for DeMu. Louis, on the other hand side, he's going to be bringing Jeanne d'Arc out onto the water. So, I mean, French and Jeanne, they did get a slight little tweak on the water. So now the docks do also provide you with an additional 10 population space. So you save the resource for a house when you build up that dock. That's nice. That's nice. And I think maybe that could be enough for Louis to be the kind of guy to like really like take these kind of niche situations where civilization could work and absolutely make the best out of it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where anytime there's a hybrid map, Japan is always the one talking. They have so many different, bonuses on those hybrids that just add up together to be so well. Most importantly, cheap fishing boats. But like you said, the JD having that slight little change might give Louis some timing. You know, you don't have to build that early house. You're able to move out right off the bat for that dock. And then JD, we know what the French civilizations are all about. Royal knights kind of roaming out and about all across the map and putting pressure on your opponent.
Exactly. I mean, if we're getting to that point, like in Castle Age, usually Japan with their mounted samurai always beat any other form of knight with that armor. But that's the but here. When Jeanne d'Arc or French get Royal Institute in, and they get that plus 80 HP, like the Cal saddles as well, all of these upgrades coming in on their knights, they still, by bar none, have the best knights in the Castle Age.
Absolutely. It's hard to match up with those. All the upgrades tie in together so well, but enough of talking about it. We get to see it. Game number 2 begins. loueMT versus DeMu, and DeMu is in the lead up 1-0.
All right, and in we go. Welcome, everybody, to another game between these two. 1-0 at the moment now for DeMu. Can Louis come back in this one? That is going to be the question here on 4 lakes. So we will have that pure kind of like hybrid map where it's all about that water economy. Looking at it, yeah, Louis also seems to be going out for play onto the water.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is 4 lakes. You'd expect that water play on early. We talked about, you know, having that new advantage of JD. You saw the pop space immediately jump on up, and DeMu already got those fishing boat in queue. So this is going to be one of these where a couple more minutes into the game, you know, it's no longer the super early feudal. It gets delayed by a little bit, but then there's so much more umph behind it. And sometimes it's skip feudal and go directly into castle.
Indeed. Okay, now, I mean, early on this map, there's not usually a lot going on. We see both players, they're going for their individual pawns. It's typically only at like the transition period between Feudal Age and Dark Age, like from Dark Age to Feudal Age, where we see a lot of action happening. And that's going to be the question, like, what are we going to see happening here? Are we going to see something like a sneak villager come out from one of these players, move over to the opponent's lake, drop a dock, and as soon as that Feudal Age hits, you then have the ability. It's always better to be the one that docks your opponent's side. You have the ability to thoroughly harass and just lame their food income by hitting their fishing ships.
Yeah, as defensive of a game that AoE 4 might be, it is still always good being the proactive one, getting your opponent on the back foot. You know, it's super easy to, you know, watch a build order on YouTube and go, oh, I know exactly how to do this. And then all of a sudden a tower starts knocking at your door and then you have no idea. You change everything. You got to have these reactions. And this is one of those key things. Are you going to be the one to sneak your villager out? Are you going to drop a second dock on your side? You know, a third even on your opponent's corner? There's all these different options to do, but you want to be the proactive one.
It's either way going to be a difficult one to pull off if you're playing as Jean against French, because French, they not only have a very solid food economy on water, as their fishing ships barely cost any wood. They cost like 45 wood. It's a big discount that you get there on water, meaning that you can also afford to go for a much quicker transition into Feudal Age. And we can see, like, DeMu so far, he hasn't even dropped a lumber camp. He's gotten enough wood. He already has a lot of fishing ships out. He's just now going to go with a lot of villagers over to gold and try to go for the age up now.
Yeah, just a very quick, clean age up timing. Feels like he has enough on water for now and wants to maybe have that quicker. Well, actually, is he going to start dropping stragglers now, it seems? And then, you know, as the age up comes through, he's going to sneak a vill out potentially or just continue to invest on into his own.
All right, should be coming in soon for DeMu now. One more drop off from those villagers in gold, and then Feudal Age will be coming in. I don't see any move out from him yet on the minimap towards any of the pawns from his opponents. Same thing, though, for Louis. Is that a scout that's moving alongside the deer there in front of DeMu space? Wait, we're getting Kura Storehouse?
School of Cav and Kura Store. And the Kura Storehouse position. Huh? Okay.
I mean, I think that's fine-ish. But what's kind of bothering me is that we're not getting a Coca Township instead. Just having that Shinobi out on the map, being able to sabotage a dock if it comes in from your opponent, that's so much value, but DeMu just going for the Kura instead.
Yeah, I just feel like it's odd because the Cura, it's like, yeah, look, you'll get some farms throughout. He can, push the deer on in if he wants, but food is not going to be his problem, or shouldn't be his problem on this type of a map. I mean, if food's his problem, that means he's lost water, which means you're usually losing the game here, and the Shinobi would provide so much of an extra benefit to secure that, but I guess he was just too scared of the Royal Knights, although I've seen Shinobi take some damage off of those Knights before.
Yeah, I mean, the Shinobi, they will do a lot of bonus damage against any melee unit, so even with all the armor that a Knight gets, a Shinobi still will do a lot of damage. We see a villager moving out now. Oh, it looks like he scouted a villager from DeMu that might have wanted to move out. He's got to decide against that now that he's been spotted. And Louis, he's just going to go for his second pawn instead now.
And it looks like there's a boar near Louis' dock. I wonder if it's close enough to pull if like DeMu tries to build a sneak dock. He'd obviously, I think DeMu would go all the way in the corner, so it'd be hard to. I think the corner would be fine, but if he tries to build it anywhere closer, that boar might be close enough to pull to the villager building.
Outpost coming up for DeMu on the gold, so I kind of get that feeling that with the outpost coming up, he will probably just want to go for his own like castle transition. And we do at the same time see DeMu scouting out a lot of villagers from Louis, also just now getting sent over to the gold. So maybe I guess we will just have a kind of classic Castle Age on Castle Age here between Japan and John.
Waldo gets down, but is it all the way finished, or will JD be able to just shoot over that wood line with her archer abilities here? Oh, she's hitting the lumber camp. I don't think she's quite able to hit a villager, but isn't too far away from that, actually. Scout just needs a little bit of vision, but DeMu, he knows better. He went ahead, repositioned around to the backside, getting an upgrade in that outpost as well.
Yeah, range not quite there for him, but I mean, in the end here, like Louis, he's got 2 Knights out now. I'm not sure if he's going to reinvest even more into Knights, or if this is just going to be enough for him and he's going to try and go for the Castle Age play now. Scout will get taken down. I think DeMu at this point in time just like thoroughly knows what the game plan from his opponent's going to be.
Yeah, and he is also kind of being the one to choose his own game plan too. He's going up to castle. And whoa, Louis actually he is investing a little bit more into feudal, so maybe that scout kill says, "Hey, DeMu, you have no idea what I am doing." And this is a great idea from Louis. Pressure the gold. Japanese going castle without gold doesn't have much anything behind it here.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be great for Louis now. If he's able to get underneath the outpost and get some villager kills, if he's able to deny the gold, then he's going to be in a great spot. Unfortunately, Sheep gets taken down. Oh, we actually have a second outpost now coming in as well.
Ooh, and a villager kill.
The Divine Arrow coming in clutch there for villager pickoff. First archer is coming out now. I would suspect Louis trying to immediately go for a ram here as soon as possible.
Also, I love what we didn't talk about it, but I love what Louis did with his knight being able to kill the scout. He clicked off, got to let the scout get a little bit of extra distance, so his knight was able to reset his charge and was able to actually close the gap with that extra move speed. So these are those like little small things you can see, and the viewers can learn to do in their own gameplay.
All right, this timing, it's going to be pretty tight now, though. The timing is going to be pretty tight now. Louis, DeMu, he's just about to be able to click up to the next age. Food is going to be come in through the fishing ships on water, and once he's able to click for the age up, like he's already got enough gold for 2 Knights.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be keeping that extra bank, but my question is by the time he's clicking the age up, it's not just about the age up. It's about fully finishing it and having that stable that is down already, gets your Shiro drop in, and then is able to start the production. So that all takes a lot of time, and time that DeMu may not have much of.
Not just that, I'm looking though on the other side of the map. There is one gold that DeMu has that's right next to the pond. If it gets to it, I mean, he can just go onto the pond and have his 2 galleys protect him there. Now the villager goes down. Now the 2 villagers go down.
2 villagers fall. Ram starting to take down that outpost. Villagers jump out. This is going to be that little bit of in and out game by both of these players. But the outpost should definitely end up falling. Woodline is vulnerable as well. Another jump in and out by DeMu. A villager falls yet again, though. Outpost, one more tick, and it will fall. Another villager down.
Crew, another villager, and we're going to get another one. John
JD, oh! JD goes down. XP will start to be lost. Floating gate, still only about 3/4 the way up, and we have already seen a ton of damage. Villagers pulling out those torches. Louis, his army's still near enough. He could dive with the knights, get a few more villager picks if he wants, but at what cost? He's trying to make sure his military stays alive, because if he loses too many knights, 1-2 mounted samurai will be enough to just end this.
Yeah, looks like he is trying to commit now on to that outpost. One of his knights is going to go down now.
Outpost still only a few more shots. DeMu moving out to the stone.
There's a knight nearby as well.
Yeah, very vulnerable location. Villagers moving out as well. Oh, he's going all in to try to save this outpost. One more ram hit, and I think it still goes down anyways. More villagers are fall. DeMu, I don't know what you're thinking here.
He's investing so much into this.
This is such a big commitment into this.
Samurai
the outpost is still alive. The ram falls, but the outpost is still burning.
And it's
at what cost?
And the knight at the same time onto the stone. He's lost 12 villagers so far.
Louis is just out microing, is just forcing DeMu to be such hard APM cap. Knight almost still trading well with that mounted samurai, almost falls, and Louis full denies gold. DeMu's only getting gold from the stone drop-offs.
I mean, still, in theory, there is the gold mine next to the pond. He has 2 galleys there, where he can protect his villagers from archers. Archers will need to be careful.
One mounted samurai falls.
Only 3 archers remaining, though, at the end of it. But now Louis, he's in a position where he can just pump out more and more knights and be fine with the trades.
And you can already see he's doing exactly that. He says, I don't need any more archers. Knights, more knights, and JD is back onto the field as well. DeMu moving out to the gold. I don't think he could do that. There's still too many knights here.
This is
so much idle time.
Almost goes down.
Forget the 12 villager kills. Think about how much idle time he's been causing as well.
Yeah, I mean, that hurts for sure. Oh, knight almost gets picked off, though. But DeMu is just going to let him go back out to gold?
I'm surprised. He should split off 1 or 2 knights here. Maybe wants to just take this fight with JD, with the restoration that she can activate on those lower health knights.
Is going to take the fight now.
There it is, and this is the point where I think Louis just ends it now. He says, yeah, you could maybe get a few more mounted samurai in queue. You could try to get that relic. You might actually get that relic, but knight number for Louis is up to 12 and 5 more in queue.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, he's skirting around that pivotal line there, where he's able to have enough units here to take these engagements. He still has that deflective armor, which is going to be so valuable in these fights. Oh, villager's almost going down here.
Another knight was raiding on the backside wood line. I mean, in no villager kills, it's still been at 12 for quite a while, but relic was not able to be secured. And again,
all of this,
no
he
gold.
took the pawn from DeMu.
He is on the third pawn. Oh, that's great. He's up on the third pond. He's just able to kind of take whatever he wants out on this map if he desires. But what he wants is DeMu's base. He's going straight for the throat. Looks like DeMu's still on sheep under his town center, but there cannot be too many left at this point.
Yeah, definitely not. He does have that Kura storehouse, which is giving him a lot of farms overall. Ooh, that's the wrong spot for a monk to be.
Oh, what?
Oh, no.
Oh my god. My heart just dropped. That was the way back in the game. He almost just won.
That would have been it. That 100% would have been it. Oh. There we go. Man, there is a lot of Mounted Samurai right now, though, and fight is getting taken.
But again,
he's gonna lose another Mounted Samurai.
One Mounted Samurai goes down. None of the Royal Knights do. JD gets more XP, and then there's more Knights come. It is more than double the Knight number compared to Mounted Samurai. So this is one where I don't know how DeMu is going to be able to stabilize this, even being an age ahead.
Yeah, it is incredibly tough for him at the moment. The Mounted Samurai, the reflective armor, it only takes like 8 seconds to recharge, so if DeMu is able to like take these fights, all these little charge battles with like 8 seconds in between.
1 for 1.
Oh my god,
Louis happy with that
so
every time.
Yeah. And now he's off gold again. Maybe we need Spearman in this one, but it feels like at this point in time, even if you mass into Spearman, you won't be able to produce enough in time against this many Knights. It's almost 30 out on the field.
I mean, he finally decides to try to move out to the gold, but when he's leading the Knights that way already.
He's at least going to pick off 2 Knights there immediately. I mean, that is the point, right? Like, he has 2 galleys there, 2 archer ships. If he wants to take a fight, then he should take it over there. Another Knight gets taken down, and John, she should be fairly close to level 3 now.
One definitely should be. Those villagers are out in the middle of nowhere. DeMu knows he needs this gold. It's do or die anyways. Fights being taken. Louis dives on in. Divine Arrow being used. JD actually focusing their arrow on some of those villagers, but Divine Arrow to finish off the low health Mounted Samurai. And Louis is pulling back the low health Royal Knights. Micro is just to perfection here. Wins the fight and should just be able to close out the game.
JD level 3 coming as well. Goes for the men-arms, though. The champions. And even with the archer ships here, Louis, he's not stopping. All of the villagers are going to go down now. DeMu coming in with some of his Mount Samurai, with all of his Mount Samurai, but it's not going to be enough. All the villagers go down.
Every single one of those. We're now at the point where Louis is doubling the economy of DeMu. He's tripling the Knight mass of DeMu as well. He could just A-move and end the game.
Definitely feels like it, but Louis, he's being a little bit cautious now. But I think now, yeah, I mean, this has to kind of like drive the message home, right? Like this engagement, more Knights going down. Now, DeMu, once again, locked out of gold, doesn't have the option, and GG gets called. Louis evens out the series.
Tied 1-1, and what an exciting game. JD on water gets pulled out and takes down one of the dominant civs on water.
Yeah, I mean, this time, like, we looked at the resources gathered earlier. This time was flipped around as DeMu just wasn't able to get onto gold. So many villager kills early on for Louis. Able to secure the win here.
Yeah, you could just
see a matchup that we didn't expect.
Not at all. What a just great timing push. He knew what DeMu's game plan was, and he just decided to make the call to just stay feudal, stay all in, and deny.
Yeah, it looked great for him there. We can see in the economy count, whenever the castle age came in, DeMu was already behind a little bit, but that just suddenly got worse and worse and worse for him.
Yeah. What an exciting second game. And now for the third, there will be no more water in this series. It is going to be all land, and a bald land at that one.
Not just a bald land. Not only does DeMu feel right at home over there, he also is going to feel right at home with the civilization pick. Marlian's one of his comfort picks here in this one on bald land up against the Roost from loueMT.
Yeah, and I feel like this is one of those maps where, fortunately, Mali doesn't have as big a problem, but you do have to move out on to the mid-map. Resources are somewhat scarce, and I feel like if a game extends, it's always about those 2 massive middle wood lines you can already see in the little mini-map. That's the really only spot in the extended point of the game to get wood, to be able to, start reinvesting into siege and more production.
It's funny with Roos here on this map, because if you're able to take map control, if you're able to get some hunting cabins or maybe even a high trade house in on those massive wood lines in the middle of the map, if you're able to do that, you're going to get so much gold. Same time, since we did have a little bit of a situation going on, I told you, Bolton can take a game off Arena, but it's the first one in this series. Gonna take a quick look here at Group A. as the games are going on there in parallel, Marine Lord able to lose a game there to Baltian. I mean, Baltian able to win a game against him.
Yeah, I mean, if you think Marine Lord might be getting a little nervous, might be getting hands a little sweaty over there after game number 1 getting dropped, but can already see the next couple series. With one we are currently casting here now, 1-1. BC Mayomeka should be going on as well. I don't know if it's going on currently, but should maybe get casted on another channel. Anatan Scarlet Devil will be checking in on later today.
And I'm excited now. I'm excited seeing Baltian able to pick a game off there of Marine Lord there. Let's see if he's able to pick another one off him, or if I'm going to be correct with my prediction there for 3-1 potentially.
Hey, you know, it's already being able to call that 3-1 is even still saying that Baltoon's going to shock Marine Lord for 1 is more than enough, I would say already.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's a great victory there for Baltian. For sure. I mean, not many people can claim that they've won a game against Marine Lord. Definitely not many.
Not at all, but enough about Marine Lord Baltoon. We have a tied up series in front of us. It's loueMT, it's DeMu. We saw game number 1 go to DeMu with that sacred site control in the center. Game number 2, Louis with the massive knights. But how will game number 3 turn out? We're jumping in now.
All right, game number 3 right here, right now. Even serious between the two. And yeah, I mean, let's see what's going to happen here. Louis already put up that first hunting cabin. Looks like I might need to pause the replay here for a second, as sometimes there are a little spikes there. Happens with the replay file whenever the game is going on live. We need to pause for just a second so the game goes smoothly. Yeah, hunting cabin is coming in, and looks like Louis, he is going for the popular double hunting cabin opener here.
Yes, he is, and I love, you already talked about this in the pregame, where if Louis is able to grab some of that mid-map control, there's some prime time spots on this map. The wood lines just spawn so funny in the middle, where there's really these pockets where you can fit in a hunting cabin, you could fit in the high trade house, and just get an absurd amount of gold income from it.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, there's one spot that we see for Louis on the bottom wood line. Yeah. I wonder if it's big enough for it, but if we get to a point in time where Louis has the map control, when he's aging up to castle age to put a high trade house in there, we gotta check that out.
It would be like a full circle. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Bottom wood line. There, yeah, that's...
I think it's a little small. I think a little too tight. Even still, that bottom one, they're a good fit for a hunting cabin, though, on the bottom side,
or the top one next to the gold mine.
Yeah, that as well. So
the top wood line.
Still some prime time spots for Louis to choose, but if he's moving out, he's doing that. We haven't been talking about Molly's passive gold production. DeMu, look at the back gold vein that he spawns with. It's just one that he should have 2 easy pit mines throughout the long points of the game. That's going to be very hard for Louis to deny, very hard for Louis to focus.
Yeah, pit mine has come up, all the houses around it, so the usual 6 that we do see. Mansa Quarry coming up, and the Golden Gate from Louis on the other hand side, so will probably be a fast castle age from Louis, I would imagine, and DeMu will probably just go. I'm not sure if he's gonna go, if he's gotten a taste for the Mali and Pro Scout meta, or if he's just gonna go for the cow boom.
I feel like everyone's in this Pro Scout meta. It's like, you can say that with every Civ, and it's like, yeah, they can do Pro Scouts. Yeah, they can do Pro Scouts. It's just very, very strong right now. But Feudal Age is about to be finishing up here now in just a second. Both having their own little ways of supportive economic landmarks, I would say. Mansa Quarry, passive gold generation, Golden Gate, making your trades just a little bit more efficient. I love the Golden Gate. It used to be the #1 landmark for a while, I felt like, and then all of a sudden the Kremlin was too good to pass up on, and now I feel like it's kind of a choice. Depends the matchup, depends the map as well.
Yeah. 3 scouts out for Louis at the moment, so could be... I'm just going to guess that with the double... Yeah, he immediately exchanges a ticket for gold, so we'll see a Pro Scout play coming in from him. DeMu also getting the stables up, so we'll be seeing Pro Scouts from both of these players now. But if it's not a Pro Scout versus Pro Scout situation, you kind of always just favor the Malians.
Yeah, you definitely do, but Louis has the one advantage on his side of getting the numbers out first. So he obviously has those hunting cabins. He didn't have to wait for the stables to come down. Can go ahead and continue to produce scouts that way. So maybe we'll just be able to secure up some more with numbers, but the warrior scouts are very, very scary. Just have that little bit of extra bit behind them. Is he gonna let the house get repaired?
Is it gonna be able to be repaired? Like it's gonna go down just before.
Oh! Other house, though, won't have a worry with it. Louis now headed back towards that central point of the map. Both these players are going to try to start fighting over the deer. Barracks immediately get drops by Louis. He knows what's happening, too, with the scouts on the other side. He knows that his are weaker. And this is the easy way to kind of equalize that.
Yeah. 100%.
Looks like Louis'
we're seeing
timing's
Spearman.
cleaner.
Yeah, the timing might be a little bit cleaner, but that's also just because of SRUs. You do have that better, like that instant
Golden Gate
income
ticket.
with the Golden Gate, yeah. And you don't have to go for the stable. You just make your scouts out of your hunting cabins. So now Spearman coming in from Louis as well is going to have a direct counter to these warrior scouts.
Yeah, and this is going to make it really nice because he can split the Spearman off and take his choice, sit on a deer pack, chase down some other scouts, escort his own scouts, but also he's got numbers now. He's able to split off and do some different things, but one scout falls already. This is the Mali warrior scouts showing the prowess before the spears were able to move too.
First couple of spearmen out now. It's still tough for spearmen to like catch up. Because warrior scouts, this is the kind of absurd thing. Warrior scouts have more movement speed than normal scouts. That means that they also have more movement speed while they are carrying the deer.
Yeah, they just get to choose the fights to take. They can drop the deer, run on away. It's hard for the spears to ever close the gap. First pack of deer looks like it is favoring DeMu. He has 4 being escorted back, and there is no way that those are going to get chased down. And meanwhile, the other scouts are just trying to chase and not allow Louis to secure up any.
So
and oh my gosh, I did not realize how quick for those 4 warrior scouts were going to kill the other scout. That was way faster than I was expecting.
Damn. And yeah, DeMu, he's just having a little bit of a chokehold here when it comes onto these deer. He's got so many of these warrior scouts out. He's just able to take whatever he wants on the map while running around, giving the spearmen the runaround. And Louis, without horsemen, he just doesn't have the mobility to catch up with them. It feels like you really need to have like these HRE spearmen with the bonus movement speed in order to just always be able to catch up with the Pro Scouts play.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just 4 scouts that have been doing this. Meanwhile, DeMu has 11 out on the map. These 5 spears are fully distracted with this smaller pack, and Louis was able to secure up a few for himself, but it felt like there was so much more effort and resource investments to secure those from Louis. Meanwhile, DeMu, he's moving out to 2 separate packs as we speak. I think this is going to be a 3-to-1 pack with when it comes to the Pro Scouts game.
Yeah, so a lot of food coming in for them, but Louis behind this, he's still in a really good position. Is going to be aging up soon now. Question is where and with what?
I mean, with this many scouts out, I don't think he can move out to drop a greedy high trade house. Instead, it is a very, very disappointing one.
We'll see how disappointing. They did kind of give it like a more linear scaling with the tree, so rather an exponential scaling that goes down the more trees there are. So even with just one wood line, you tend to now get close to... Oh my god, there... Speaking of warrior scouts, they can also regenerate health really, really quickly. So you see them now at like a quarter of their HP. A minute later, they're going to be full HP again.
Yeah, and DeMu distracts like basically half or all of Louis' mass. The spears, yeah, they can't catch up, not in time to do enough damage to like kill that scout, I feel like. And he could always just drop that deer, pick it up with the other one. It actually doesn't matter. He doesn't even need to do that.
God, he's so fast. But now age up is going to be coming in for Louis, and we'll see what the follow-up play is going to be. We're seeing Musafadi warriors coming in for DeMu now at this point in time. That's going to be interesting if he wants to go for like a freeborn transition in Castle Age. If Louis goes for Cav Archers, and he is immediately queuing the Cav Archers, even the freeborn warriors, they don't feel... I don't think they got enough Pierce armor to deal effectively against mass Cav Archers. You mix in Knights as well.
Yeah, DeMu, though, he's getting closer and closer to his Castle Age drop himself. And I would say the key difference here is DeMu was able to secure up so much of that deer. He's not going to have to move out. He's obviously got the pit mines for gold. He's got all the deer for that food income. And Louis will be forced to start moving out for food earlier than DeMu will be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, these warrior scouts, they're still just being annoying here right now for Louis to deal with. At least the high trade house is also just going to give Louis a lot of sheep spawn. Not sheep spawn, deer spawn throughout the game. So he's going to have an additional food source that way.
That is true, and he still has a few that we were seeing get dropped off. Able to take down a few of those Musafadis. Hijab
now coming in. Okay, Grand Fulani Corral without a single cow.
This is going to have so much oomph behind it, man. His food economy is just going to go through the roof.
I mean, he's now investing into a lot of the cattle after the fact, but maybe? Like, if he's got enough gold, then sure.
He does
That's a big if, though.
I feel like this is one of those where he's going to drop, like, triple mill and just have 3 cows in constant production, and all of a sudden, like, 3 minutes go by and it'll be worth it, but... I feel like he just didn't... I guess he didn't see the reasoning for the Farimba.
Something that's interesting, warrior scouts actually don't do any bonus damage to ranged units in the feudal age, but once you reach castle age, you upgrade them to veterancy warrior scouts, they suddenly start being able to do bonus damage against ranged units.
You can see how those Cav Archers are now just sniping down all the Musafadis and the scouts, but Louis needs to micro those back. Don't allow the Musafadis to close the gap.
First relic coming in for Louis. Does have the second warrior monk as well, and he did take the close relic to Demu's base.
Oh, I love this. Was able to move out, was able to... And the first 2 relics on Demu's side. So this might actually be a 5-0 relic game for Louis, even though Demu felt like he was winning the earlier trades. He, you know, was able to get a lot more of the deer, was able to take a lot more of the map control, but Louis had the castle timing and has walls now as well.
We're seeing a transition now into Sofas coming in from Demu. That is really good because Sofas, not only do they have +1 armor with the important armor upgrade compared to normal knights, but on top of that, they also move quicker than knights, so they move faster than Cav Archers as well. It actually means that they're going to be able to chase the Cav Archers down.
The warrior scouts are like slowly closing the gap, able to do some damage on the Cav Archers, but I think Louis can just kite this out eventually. He pulls back the lower health Cav Archers, able to make sure that those don't get taken down, and now wants to just take the rest of this fight as Demu is looking to trickle in units.
I don't think you can do that completely without micro, though. At least not just microing back the weak ones, but you actually have to kite as a whole. Sofa comes in as well. I think Louis is a little bit too complacent here.
Yeah,
the reaction.
He's letting the Musafadis just get way too many attacks through when you have the mobility. I feel like most of the times when you see these Cav Archers get pulled out, they never really get attacked too much. And there it is. Finally, Louis clears up the rest of those trickling units, has 15 Cav Archers that he has built that number up to. Meanwhile, Demu, single-digit military mass.
What does the cattle count look like for Demu behind all of this?
My guess is going to be 12. I don't know why.
He has a lot of villagers on there. 9...
11.
11, okay. So already, like, the food income is going to start to ramp up for him now.
Yeah, he has built that up quite a bit, and so Louis really needs to take advantage of this. He's gotten some good trades here. Not only is Demu going to have the cattle economy, he still has a lot of those extra deer under his TC as well.
Yeah, so definitely a lot of food, and that's gonna be the 5th relic coming in for Louis now. So he's okay. Yeah, it is a very sad high trade cost.
Yeah, 80 gold per minute there.
That's a
one
relic.
Yeah, usually we're talking to like, oh, 2.5, 3 relics almost on a good one. And it's like, nope, yeah, you got one single one.
But he's still getting deer in, right? He's still generating deer, so he's getting like food as well.
And I love also what Louis is doing behind this. It was he starts out with that shorter wall just to kind of protect up his initial base, and now he feels like he's taking the map control. He's posturing his military towards the center of the map. He's breaking off another group to kind of try to do some raiding and walling behind that to making sure he's staying safe and going to play the long game here.
Yeah. So far, Mass is starting to climb up. I think maybe Louis might need a transition into some Knights as well. It's tough against the Musafati warriors, but Knights will do an excellent job against the Sofas and against the front line of all of these warrior scouts that are coming in as well.
Yeah, now we talked about DeMu's 2 pit mines, and now he's trying to move out and secure up his 3rd. This is an 8k gold. This is the mid-map form. This is when DeMu is going to start to get to this point where he could be a little bit vulnerable here, as that 3rd pit mine will be harder to secure.
7 outpost though with a Springhill placement makes Louis a little bit hesitant, especially since he's got unarmored units. Springhill got changed a while ago, the emplacement at least, so it hits more often, but does less damage. So unarmored units, they still have to be a little bit scared of that.
Yeah, and all he has are those Cav archers for the most part. There's still some scouts to help try to burn down that outpost, but not enough damage to be done. Does Louis has dropped a 2nd TC behind this, but my question is does he even have a villager on gold right now? I don't think he does.
I don't think so, no.
It's just 700
it's all just passive
gold
income. I mean, that's just Ruse in a nutshell, right? Like, they go up to like 1,000 gold per minute passively as the game goes on.
5 relics, the hunting cabins, and and then just the passive bounty from gathering deer, sheep, and everything there. So I guess, yeah, it's just kind of tons and tons of passive gold, and I love it too. All his military mass is well, finally starting to make some knights, but he hasn't had to use any of that gold on the military, so he's been, for the most part, he's been able to save some of it for some upgrades.
Speaking of passive gold income, though, DeMu with the Malians, I mean, he's got the pit mines, he's got the Manza quarry. Even if he doesn't have a single relic, his passive gold income is pretty good, and passive food income as well.
True, yes, it is. He is actually ahead of Louis in gold and food right now, so military numbers are starting to reflect that. DeMu has evened out that number and evened out that mass and has 20. Are those warrior scouts that he has?
I think he might be flirting with the idea of Imperial Age and just go for elite warrior scouts.
They're so hard to deal with their mobility, their healing. You just have to respect them, but is not able to burn through those reinforced roost walls in time.
And they just see everything as well. They're the perfect raiding unit because they see their target from afar. Osman, they don't get that benefit. They got relatively short line of sight.
Yeah, they got to have a scout in the raiding part. Nothing's more demoralizing as a caster. You see like 4 knights roaming around, and then you're like, oh, it's about to be a huge raid, and they don't see the 15 villagers over to the side because they don't have a scout with them.
Ooh, does reinvest into units, though. Suddenly a lot more sofas getting queued up, and lots of Musafati warriors as well. Louis is investing behind this as well. But the income, I mean, you mentioned it looks really good for DeMu, even without a single relic, which is kind of crazy.
Definitely crazy to think about. It's like, you know, they have their own sort of passive income that they got to make up for the relics, so hey, he doesn't even care about it at all. But if Imperial Age comes through, if Tithe Barns comes through with 5 relics, that's when it might be a little bit different here.
Yeah, that's when you put your passive income into overdrive. And once again, warrior scouts are going to force a reaction from pretty much the entire military from Louis. It's the Cav Archers.
Cav Archers are going. Should be able to take down a few of those at least, and by a few, 3 maybe? Yep, 3 Warrior Scouts get taken down. The rest should be able to run on away. DeMu reinforcing or attempting to reinforce that mid-map, having to move out and about. I think wood lines are starting to get thin for him.
Yeah, I mean, at one point you will have to go for these large wood lines in the middle of the map. That's when players will really start to fight fiercely for their wood income.
Oh, and Louis been slowly making that farm transition behind this and building up his own food economy and is actually...
He was going for the wall again. He's going for it again. I think Louis only pulled 1 villager for repair. I don't think that's fully repaired yet. At the same time, Clash in the middle.
He did only pull 1 vill, has a few spears, and it has one single knight headed that way. It looks like enough to deter the mass, and mainly what was deterring the mass is this just huge ball of military burning down the middle outpost and denying the 8k gold vein that DeMu wanted.
Yeah, DeMu, he's going to pull back for the time being, transitioning now into the archer play behind us. Couple of knights also going for some raids behind us. We're seeing poison arrow veterans here on the archers. Come in here for DeMu now behind this, so will need his own range backline. Now Louis, for the first time, I think, scouts that DeMu does have a full Grand Falani Corral food transition.
Yeah, the hard part now is DeMu's starting to get put on the back foot. We talked about those wood lines being vulnerable. Well, now Louis has a night mass split up, is burning down all of these houses, is taking control of this mid-map, which is where all of the next wood lines are. And yeah, DeMu's full population block doesn't have the houses. You can see he's got 4 villagers trying to mass build houses, but they're not going to be able to build as fast as they're getting taken down.
Yeah, it means the archer transition is also going to be a little bit delayed. The build-up on the archers.
Still needs 3 more houses before he's just even equalized. Knights able to secure some villager kills, although it doesn't feel as good against Molly. Rest of those knights should fall to the sofa mass, but there's more houses here. Oh, that's exactly me. We both called it out.
He's just going to keep him PopCap for the rest of the game, potentially.
DeMu, though, no, he finally has enough houses to start having units pop out. He went from 150 to 160 in the blink of an eye because his queue was sitting for so long. Louis now having to fall back just a little bit. Doesn't want to take the fight, it seems, or is continuing to kite. Spears in position. DeMu diving in, taking the fight, going for the full circle on around. Horse archers kiting is going to be enough. DeMu, he's got the closer reinforcements coming on in. I think he can push this mass on back.
So fast, I mean, they do have more pierce armor, and against a unit like the Cav Archers, which don't do bonus damage, that does mean that they are going to be able to tank up relatively nicely, but is it enough? The Sofa count, it's looking pretty low at the moment now. More and more archers coming in, though. With the poison arrows, I think at least for the time being, DeMu is going to be able to push Louis back.
DeMu holds, he holds for the time being, but it just, again, now the eco numbers are totally different. Louis, I mean, he's 600 ahead in the food resource income per minute. He's 500 ahead in the gold income. You can't forget he's had a second TC behind this and has been being the one raiding and the one that is the aggressor.
Yeah, indeed. Oh man, it's gonna be tough now. Sacred Side victory is still on the menu for him. I don't think Louis will want that Sacred Side to get decapped at all at this point in time. Like, he has a good unit mass, has a lot of men-at-arms in there as well. There are a lot of Musafati warriors out there, though.
He's pushing forward. Fight gets taken again. The Cav Archer still trying to kite back, but you mentioned it earlier, Sofa have a lot of that Pierce armor, and those poison archers for Molly are able to just move so much better, it feels like.
They are indeed, and now DeMu, he's starting to really be able to take good engagements, good fights here. And Louis, he's going to have to back off. The Cav Archers now, as the game goes on, don't feel quite as impactful anymore in mass.
Yeah, look at the difference of the queue, though. DeMu, he's got 2, 3, 4, 5 units in queue, whereas Louis, he's got 8 to 10 units in queue, so he just needs time for these numbers to stabilize a bit more, and the walls are giving him that time, at least for a little bit, continuing to kite, continuing to take the fight, actually.
Yeah, he keeps pushing in behind this. Poison Arrow Archers are going to try and kite behind this, doing a lot of damage on the retreat. They will fall back.
DeMu has to move back forward. He's trying to get the houses around that pit mine again, trying to resecure that gold vein yet again. But the military numbers now are looking much, much more even. DeMu reinforcing that queue and Louis posturing back. This has just been such a back and forth game now in the mid map. And surprisingly, Louis still has the sacred site.
Yeah, I mean, income for DeMu, it looked better for him than it did for Louis earlier, but now it's kind of flipped on its head. Over 2,400 food per minute at the moment for Louis.
He's had the full farm transition behind this. Yeah, I don't think he's even chosen to take the boar on his side that he has walled off. He's just that safe and secure behind these walls. He is set up for this long game. Hasn't really had to send too many villagers onto gold, so all those gold veins are his for the taking, continuing to move forward. But DeMu, he still has enough of a mass here to hold for the time being.
Yeah, Musafadi warriors able to deal with the knights at the front line, and now that the Cav archers are exposed, Poison Arrow archers are going to be able to do a good job against them. Voice Fortitude still means that in a one-on-one fight, the Cav archers should be coming out on top.
Overall, though, that's exactly what happened. There was a time a little bit ago, DeMu was up 20, 30 military numbers, and now it's dead even, 45-45, and the fight is still being taken. DeMu's trying to burn down one of the side walls, but in reality, he needs to be securing this mid-map. He needs to help his villagers on this gold because he is losing the mid-map. He is losing the positioning that he needs to hold this game.
He has more than enough gold. Market is getting rushed up now. Might want to try and balance out some of his economy now.
He's about to drop below 100 pop for first time in a while in this game. He's down at 99, and Louis, he's sitting nice and happy. 168 population. He's got more villagers than DeMu has pop.
This has to be one of the longest continuous ongoing fights in Age of Empires 4.
They really have just been guiding back and forth, continuing to take the fight. It's usually so much posturing back. You'll see 1 to 2 units fall, not this like 5, 10, 15 consistently being taken down. DeMu lost the gold mine though. He lost his 8K. And he doesn't have much more resources behind this, with this being Baldlands.
Front line. Not a lot of front line. A good count of men-at-arms here as well. And with the Saint's Blessing from the Warrior Monks as well, they're going to get even more armor.
Louis decides not to take it, decides to fall back. He is playing the Sacred Site game, I feel like. I think he just wants to continue to pressure DeMu off the Sacred Site, off of that 8K gold. He knows if he is not getting those, he has the perfect spot to win this game.
More and more archers coming in. What kind of Musafadi warriors? Double! Oh my god, triple layer.
Everywhere!
Oh
He's
my
just
god!
everywhere.
The onion!
So who has he been watching? Who is it? Let's give a call out. What player has Louis been watching to do these triple walls here?
I know Waldemar's been making a lot of guides on YouTube, so maybe he's been watching over there.
Oh,
that's a lot of walls coming in. Okay, if you don't have stone walls, you know what you do? Just start onioning up.
Just layer after layer after layer. But fight being taken yet again. DeMu barely having the numbers on his side. Is it going to end up being enough? Louis reinforcing behind this onto the Sacred Site with a wooden fortress. But it looks like DeMu has enough to take this. The Poison Archer number is up at 50. And
He starts
Louis...
focusing the archers, the Cav archers.
Yeah. Louis has to fall back from this position, needs to regroup yet again, and that 4-minute Sacred Site timer is going to get thrown right down the drain.
Yeah. We're going to see a decap happening now. We're able to stabilize, and now he's going to be looking in a much better position than he was at a minute ago.
But what about gold? He needs to get back onto that gold. He's got 380 gold per minute. I think that's just the pit mines. He doesn't have a villager on gold. Meanwhile, Louis has a ton of gold behind his walls, still has all of those relics, has all of the map that he wants with those layers of walls.
Yeah, now the question is, are both players just going to try and go for an Imperial Age play now? I mean, Louis, he's got a lot of knights in the queue. I feel like he's doubling down in the Castle Age.
I feel like DeMu's about to do the thing where it's just like you'll see like the 130 military pop from Mauling, and it's like that's his win condition.
Classic.
Just keep the ball together, and you're not going to have a mass that can deny this unless you start deleting villagers.
Yeah, that's the key point for Mali, right? Like, you have so much passive income in terms of food, in terms of gold. You can comfortably play a game on 80 villagers max. And you can have all the more military for it. And your opponent just can't have as much military out of the field.
Yeah, just so hard to equalize these numbers. I laugh. DeMu's burning through these walls only to find himself trapped behind more walls. So he doesn't really want to burn through those, or else he gets surrounded and circled in there, or even re-walled. Imagine how funny that would be if he walks into there and then Louis just sneaks through the center and double walls up again.
Still a good amount of raids coming in for Louis behind all of this. Another engagement comes in the middle.
Fight going down. Some of the military from DeMu got pulled and distracted by those raids, but the poison archer number is still super healthy in the center. Even with men-at-arms there, they're just able to be that A-move unit, can kind of fight everything, maybe not super efficiently, but good enough.
I really want to put attention, though, to just how Louis keeps on massing more and more of these warrior monks and actively uses them to buff up his front line. The bonus pierce armor that he gets against the archers actually makes a pretty big difference in engagements.
Yeah, and even with being his mass doubled, it felt like this wasn't the worst fight for him. Like, yes, he's getting his military mass doubled, but he is playing this long game. You can see him long distance gathering the wood. He's about to be in this mid-map to chop up all of the wood lines, and Louis should hit max pop here soon.
I mean, Louis, he's been glued. Like, outside of these fights, he's been absolutely glued to that 200 out of 200 population pop. DeMu, I mean, for the moment he's holding, but Louis' economy is looking really, really strong right now. The income, just absolutely phenomenal.
3,000 food per minute.
Like, without Imperial Age, I don't think that he is going to be able to win the fights with the military numbers that are out there, but it looks like he's going to work towards that now.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to work towards Imperial while still being able to queue up units. That's the difference. He's not sacrificing, you know, his unit queue to drop Imperial Age. He's just put 5 more Horse Archers, 5 more Knights, 5 more Men-at-Arms. Does delay up Imperial a bit, but he still shouldn't be too far away.
I mean, that's a lot of resource just being put into the Knights now.
And he's going
he
for
wants
this
to push
fight.
DeMu out of his base. I don't think he can really push DeMu out of his base, though.
No,
It's
he's
so many
outnumbered again,
archers.
and look at the keep. It's being body blocked. It's being denied right now, and villagers starting to fall. Villagers going down. Louis, this might not be the best fight for you here. He found another spot for the keep. He's going for it. He's just going to sacrifice the military he has because he has the resources to do this. He has the resources to trade. It might not be efficient, but it's good enough.
I don't know. That still feels absolutely terrible for Louis, just how many knights he's thrown away. He was in the spot to go up to Imperial Edge. Granted, at any point in time, he just needs a minute without producing to be able to go for it again. But still, like, the destruction value is just so high in favor of DeMu at the moment.
But
It's kind of absurd.
the only thing I say is DeMu was up 30, 40 military before this, and now it's dead even.
It's not anymore.
It's dead even, and Louis the one pushing. Louis the one taking the fight now, and I don't know how DeMu's going to hold.
Yeah, it is tough for him right now. At least the front line, though, is starting to thin out. Archers now focusing onto the back line. I mean, as soon as he's able to, like, thin out the mass of Cav Archers in the back line, it's going to start looking a lot better for him, but that's a tough part at the moment.
Look at the Q differences. That's where it is. Louis just has so much extra oomph behind this. DeMu just doesn't have the mass to do it. Doesn't have the eco behind this right now. It seems Louis finally might have the leg up. It still has been such a back and forth throughout this game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of archers in queue, but DeMu, he just can't keep up with the Cav Archers, with the insane production of Louis. Granted, Louis, he's just been pumping out knights the entire time. An insanely high value unit. And DeMu, he's been pushing back time and time again, but I think now it's time. I think now it's time for Louis to go up to Imperial Age.
And more importantly, Louis just spotted that the villager mass on the woodlines at the south. He just heads there with a knight or two.
Quick wall.
Oh no! The quick wall doesn't work with the lumber camps there. And now
Man.
DeMu's going to have his split focus here. Horse Archer's still there on the front line. DeMu should be able to clear up that mass here. And fight being taken yet again.
And he's lost so many villagers behind this. So much military going down there as well. But as soon... The issue is, once the high armory comes in, Cav Archers, you can unlock an insane amount of upgrades on Cav Archers. You can get Biology, you can get the bonus range upgrade, Incendiary Arrows, and the unique upgrade on Cav Archers as well for bonus range. They outrange all of your units.
Yeah, it's crazy when you hit Imperial on certain units that can get 3, 4, 5 different upgrades compared to some that's like, hey, you can get elite army tactics, here you go. So Cav Archers are about to be fully unlocked, fully online as the high armory finishes. And Louis has the goal to get some of those immediately. First things first, there it is, mounted training and elite Cav Archers.
Where are those villagers going? Where are those villagers from DeMu going? Is he trying to get a keep up?
Oh,
He's trying to secure the gold, but without any military to back it up. Gonna have to reposition it a little bit further back.
A couple torches went on it, not enough to fully deny the stone, or not enough to deny enough stone for DeMu's next keep. But Louis says, oh, I like a keep there. That's a good idea. I like that spot for a keep. Upgrades halfway through.
Oh, that's a lot of military, though, from DeMu.
The timing is...
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yep. Louis just needs to wait, does not need to lose this mass before the upgrades come through, but at the same time, DeMu, he needs this fight. He has to take this fight. He has to force this fight, but the walls prove to be perfect. He hides behind the walls. Poison Archer still able to do so much damage. There's elite.
Upgrade comes through. Louis, if he clicks the upgrade, the ability, he's going to be able to shoot from a lot more range away.
There it is.
No, you just don't. Maybe you just attack normally.
Looks like Elite Horseman transition from loueMT as well. 15 Elite Horsemen in queue. The keeps attempted to go up from DeMu yet again.
Ability gets used. Suddenly a lot more range on these Cav Archers. We see it whenever that little icon knows about that.
And the keep should go up. There's a few villagers that'll fall for it, but not too big of a deal. However, how much more steam does DeMu have? Can DeMu keep up with this?
I mean, with the Osman, it's gonna be super tough. Bombard in Q now as well.
And soon, this is where the horsemen are about to arrive. We can see the reinforcements come through, and this is when the game turns upside down. DeMu has been able to rely on these poison archers for so long, but elite horsemen, they do not take... Actually, they're getting tickled by the poison arrows, it looks like.
Yeah, Boya's Fortitude Biology is in Q now as well. These are going to be so much more tanky once that comes in as well. Already. They're already so tanky. It's going to get even more.
And the mass from DeMu is slowly falling away. He's back down to the point where he might be dropping below 100 pop again. Meanwhile, Louis, he's not going to drop below 2. He's got a Q, and DeMu knows it. Louis takes game number 3. What a crazy back and forth. It felt like we had 15 minutes straight of fighting in the center of the map.
It was just non-stop action throughout it all, the entire time behind us. Let's take a quick look at the stats here. Yeah, I mean, Louis' income was just absolutely insane all throughout that game, but it's kind of crazy. It is kind of crazy just how that game went in the end. We did a little bit of counter switching. There we go. Military value lead. I mean, Louis, he had the military value lead for a long time, but just the military mass, it was on DeMu's side for the majority of the game there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the name of the game with Mali. A lot of times their units aren't as strong, aren't as, near and dear, but they have the numbers and they have the non-stop eco and passive income to support it. With the cows, they don't have to have as many villagers as other civs like we were talking about, but Louis just kept up the pressure, kept up that mid-map control, and proved to just be enough there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the I just want to call it out again. Like he actively just remasked so many warrior monks just for the Saint's Blessing, or time and time again. You can just tell just how much more tanky and how much more damage these units become with the Saint's Blessing, especially the men at arms. Like usually the archers, they still do like 3 damage against men at arms. Suddenly the Saint's Blessing comes in, it's gonna drop by a significant amount.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of those that the Saints, like these higher elo players, you'll see it that almost every single one of these replays that's had it, we've seen the Saints blessing up and on Louis' military. So it just, you showing that, you saying that, just every single replay has shown it too.
Yeah, he's making great use of it. Time and time again, and this one behind this with the superior economy as well. I like the timing at which point he added that second TC in. DeMu, I like the idea as well of going for that like delayed Grand Fulani Corral, because he first got all the deer in with the Pro Scout, right? And only then H up with the Grand Fulani Corral, didn't even have any cattle out, and just suddenly exploded into a massive cattle there for him.
Yeah, what an exciting game number 3 of this series. This isn't the only series we got going on. As I see some chatters out there saying that Baltoon's on fire. Are we thinking that the Baltoon's taking another game off of Marine
Like
Lord?
It actually legitimately looks like it. So it's gonna be a 2-1 then?
I think so. So we got 2-1 coming in from Louis. And then Baltoon is going to be going up 2-1 most likely here against Marine Lord. What an exciting set of series to start the day in this tournament.
And that is absolutely insane what's going on here today. These games have been absolutely incredible.
And these are just the first of many, the first week. Oh, actually, not necessarily the first weekend, but there's still a lot more series left at hand in these tournaments. I am excited for the rest of the day today.
Exactly, but now we got a potential match point here now for Louis against DeMu. Demu's gonna have to really pull out all the stops now. I feel like I'm wrong with all of my predictions here today. Potentially, like it's now gonna be match point for Louis, and Baltoon's about to win another game against Marine. Grant, that's not something that anybody really anticipated here today, I believe. And man, this is crazy. But I'm looking at the matchup now. We got HRE, Broken Civilization, against loueMT with the English. So I just want to say, like, matchup wise, good one for DeMu.
It is. English is a civ that still is. They might not be like a great civ. They're just annoying and frustrating to play against. So like that's one of those that I feel like certain people just see English and it gets under their skin. So is DeMu going to be one of those? Are you one of those right over there? Who knows? You know?
Yeah, I agree. It's English, they can be a tough one. Once they get into that position where they got all of their farms set up and you don't, and they just pump out men-at-arms and crossbows, and it's a static fight, and you can't like get the angle in to attack their economy, that's when you're in a really bad spot against them. Looks like we're jumping right into it. Game number 4 between Louis and DeMu. Match point now for loueMT.
He
Here in Dry Arabia now.
Could take the cake here. We see DeMu purple again spawning in the south, HRE, Louis in the north, yet color yellow playing as the English. And what are we going to see from these early build orders? What are the game plans going to be for these players?
That's going to be the question, right? Like we've seen DeMu go for pretty much pro scout at every single opportunity. I'm looking at his spawn. And I'm just thinking, oh man, that is a great spawn for DeMu with the Archon Chapel there. Like, just an insane Archon spawn. He's getting the wood line, he's getting the gold, he's getting the stone, he's getting his TC in as well. Like, there's just so much value right there for him. And if he goes Pro Scout on top of that, he's gonna have everything under his TC.
Yeah, lovely spawn for DeMu. And over on Louis' side, he's English. It doesn't matter about English's spawn, really. It's obviously there are some resources that they care about. They don't, they'd love to be able to take a second deer pack and not have to transition into farms earlier. But ultimately, I feel like they are one of the civs that the spawn matters so much less comparative to others.
Yeah. What do we see there? Louis, villager already moving out to the stone mine for him. So Guessing we are just going to get an Abbey of Kings coming up for Louis in this one. We'll go for the 2TC play. Then I'm wondering if it's just going to be Fast Castle or actually going to go for Pro Scouts. He does have the option. He does for sure have the option. But against English, I don't know. I've not actually played English that much in the current like Pro Scout-ish meta to really know how well they do against Pro Scout without like going for their own Pro Scout play, like their reaction with just farms, if it's going to be enough against it. It's going to be interesting to see if the 2TC against Pro Scout play works out for either of these players.
I mean, the thing is Pro Scouts with a chapel is way more than just Pro Scouts, I feel like. So that's where it gets even scarier.
Pro Scout
here.
Plus.
Pro Scout Plus. Improved Pro Scouts. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, that's not that good.
Isn't it like they just like one-shot deer instead or something?
Yeah, they do more damage to deer and boars. It's great use of, I think, like almost 300 stone.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they should be able to carry the boar home. That might be something.
Oh, but that could low-key be broke. But I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. Like, so getting some niche strategies into the game, that's always something that could be fun.
But Louis is playing the English game that says, I don't care what you do. I'm going to go 2TC English. I'm going to play my own game, and you're going to have to pressure me and push into my base at some point. Although HRE is a civ that they don't care as much about that. They can always do the old Exodias, the relics into Palace of Swabia as well.
Looking at the timing here for Louis, it's going to be interesting just how nicely down he has the timing. Something to keep in mind as well, like an actual good reaction against Pro Scout play is you just put your TC on your own deer.
I don't think it's going to be Pro Scouts. It looks like DeMu's pushing in the deer. So, like, why would he push in the deer and waste all this time in APM if he's just going to go Pro Scouts? I think
he's getting a lot of wood in.
Yeah.
Maybe no Pro Scout and just dealer into Feudal Age aggression?
I think that's going to be the play. I mean, the deer are already getting close to the chapel. I mean, he can save invaluable resources, still being able to secure the deer. It's fine if you can use the APM to do. Oh, it's only 3. I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought he was getting the whole pack over here. Even still, though,
it's Pro Scout minus.
Pro Scout minus. There we go. He saved 300 stone.
I mean, still 1,000 food with just these 3 deer that he's getting, and that's half a boar. Mm-hmm. That's good. Definitely can't complain about that one. Oh, we're getting a little confirmation. Look at that. Balti, he took a second game against Marine Lord. No way.
Look at that. Marine Lord in number 4 position in their group. That's a scrub if I've ever seen one.
You remember when Marine Lord bragged about, oh my god, I want to have core in my group. It's going to be so easy. Well, if he can't even beat Balti, and how is he going to face off against the goat core?
Yeah, that's a good question here. You know, he's definitely rattled a little bit here, but we'll check on that series here in a little bit. We'll get some updates along the rest of the cast, but now Feudal Ages have happened. Louis dropping the second TC, and then look at the location. He says, I want a second wood line, and I want deer for myself. This is a nice spot, and he's going to be able to drop plenty of farms in between those 2 TCs as well. I think enough for 2 sets of farms, like almost perfectly in between the 2 TCs.
Yeah, we're seeing some early walls come in for him as well. He's going to wall off his second deer spot. So, I mean, we know that it's not going to be Pro Scout, but even if it was Pro Scout, the timing will probably be off here at this point for him, but potentially could have denied Pro Scout with that.
Yeah, and I've loved these early walls from Louis. He's done this in, I think, almost every single game where it hasn't been like I need to wall the whole map first. It's let me segment off this one spot, make it harder for you to, circle around. I've kind of secured up my deer, and then he's going to be able to drop a small segment in between the 2 little trees next to it, and then all of a sudden he has the whole mid-map kind of controlled for himself.
Yeah. Seeing a mixture of spearmen and archers coming in for DeMu at the moment, but he's kind of slowed down on the military production there. Looks like instead he is now going to go for a transition into Castle Age behind this, and he's forced a reaction though from Louis. Archer range is going to be coming in now.
Yeah, it's that like feigted aggression into castle, and this is one where scouting is great and scouting is necessary. You need to continue to see if your opponent is pumping units or if they're starting to idle out those production buildings, starting to save those resources and going castle age, which is exactly what DeMu has planned. And it's not just one range, it's going to be double range. He's just going to pump some longbow numbers into this and should be able to snipe out the archers fine. He really needs, we'll call it 6 longbows here to effectively take this fight. Not really even that. He could take it with 5 just because the spears aren't going to be able to do anything right now.
A couple of longbows are going to be coming in, but yeah, DeMu right about to be able to age up behind this. And once you age up, the longbows don't really do anything for you.
Nope, not at all. Regnitz Cathedral is on the way. 9 villagers there. I think Louis is about to circle around DeMu's base with a scout, so very important that he is doing this, or else could just be a little too late to react. You know, 4 relics going over to a Regnitz HRE player and then able to equalize. Oh, it wasn't the scout, it was the knight circling. Or king, sorry.
King not picking off a villager there. Spearmen and archers going around the backside of Louis' base now. There's nothing really to find there, though.
And Louis just been tracking this mass so well. Gonna use the longbow range as well to just try to snipe down those, but the movement speed is where he is lacking. Those HRE units can just run on away.
And what's the reaction gonna be? I mean, DeMu, he's reaching castle age now. Regnitz Cathedral is gonna be coming up. I think, yeah, it looks like one of the prelates already positioned at the first relic.
And DeMu's got 4 farms into around that chapel. Enough positioning for a next set of farms. Lovely base layout for DeMu. Relic, like you said, already starting to be brought back in. And he's scouting and has units by, I think, 2 of the other relics too. So he's planning on at the very least 3 here.
It's going to be tough to go for the 5th relic just because Louis inadvertently has already walled that off for the most part. DeMu's going to have to go far into the base of Louis in order to secure that one.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh, that's a nice prelate pickup. This is one that this timing is so important to be able to take out some of those prelates early to make sure that they don't secure up those relics and bring them back in.
He's not walking.
Oh, did he not commit for it?
The heal could be coming in.
Oh, it goes down.
Taken down.
The other prelate could have gotten the heal in. It was so close.
It really was. More walls coming in for Louis. And he's not that far off of his own H-up. A minute more and he's going to have enough gold for it. Still just spearmen and archers at the moment for DeMu, so for the time being, the longbows are still going to do a great job of denying the relics.
Yeah, and the walls are going to make it to where there's no men-at-arms pressure or men-at-arms timing, really. Well, I say that, the walls aren't fully finished, but longbow able to at least trade out with an archer before losing its life, so we'll call it an even trade.
Walls going down, but there's still enough longbows here at the front side. DeMu's going to have to be really careful with that one. Just needs a couple more longbows to be able to start one-shotting. White Tower is coming in front of the TC from Louis.
DeMu just pressuring forward, even though he might lose the long-term trade if he does, but he wants to grab the relic behind it. He's up to 3 relics with the 4th one possible. Oh, just kidding. He's up to 2 relics and now is going to grab that 3rd, but it looks like I think Louis has a longbow there as well.
Yeah, so very good just unit positioning here from Louis. DeMu, he's definitely been significantly delayed with his relic timing. That's just all thanks to Louis having the units there we needed, and the transition to Castle Age behind this for Louis was also just really good. Like if DeMu maybe just got into Knights here with the age up, could have had the mobility that he needed.
Yeah, the big problem here, though, is he hasn't really had this long-term relic gold income. He's had, I think, 1 in the bank, maybe about to get a 2nd. Great scouting, again, by Louis with those unit positionings. Another relic denied.
Probably
And
comes
another
forward,
one
though.
almost denied. He's going to try to circle with the king potentially, try to snipe that one out, but finally, no, DeMu, escort this one, please.
Is able to survive.
This is the one he's escorting on away, but it's men-at-arms and archers against
Prowl
the
this
king.
weak. He's not going for it, though. Yeah, he's gonna let this relic go over to Demu's side. So DeMu, 4 relics, but Louis 18 villagers ahead right now.
Yeah, and
No farms in, though, at the moment.
yeah, the 4 relics took a while for DeMu to get in. So it's one thing when you get like 3 in immediately. He did get 1 in super quick, but the last 3 took some time. Louis made sure that that DeMu had to invest some resources and invest some time and APM to that. Now Louis starting to roam with some knights, and we've seen how much damage DeMu has been taking on raids today. Will he be able to deal with these a little bit better in this game?
Let's have some crossbows ready to be able to deal with that knight. English King coming in once again. Crossbow. He's not even going to go down.
He's just like, I'm just scouting now. I'm just testing the waters here, dipping my toes in, and wanted to see what's on out there.
I'm just window shopping here, just looking for what I'll pick off later. Oh, we're getting devoutness early here. So DeMu, he's gonna improve the aura, the inspiration for his villagers by an additional 10%. That's a big eco upgrade that he can get now.
And Louis finally getting some of those eco upgrades that he needs. Double broadaxe coming in, range damage, veteran longbows. But DeMu, he's about to start knocking on the door of those front walls that Louis is just now finishing.
I'm wondering if DeMu wants to go for transition into Imperial Age now, just because with the Palace of Swabia, he's going to be able to catch up in the villager department. His economy at the moment looks really good, but that is only temporary. As soon as Louis starts getting in some more of his own economy upgrades, with the amount of villagers that he has, it's going to start looking better and better for Louis.
Front wall has been burnt. Louis was able to pick off 1, 2, maybe 3 units during that, but there's still a white tower. This is still the English base to go through. So where is DeMu going to attack? What is he actually going to be able to take advantage of here? He saw where the second TC was earlier. That is what his focus is going to be. He's circling around that way now. King trying to do some raiding on the backside. Outpost was just way too late. 1 villager falls, a second one.
We do have +2 pierce armor in at the moment, but there's also +2 pierce damage, and the longbows already do 1 more damage than normal archers. So actually able to do great damage against the men-at-arms as well.
And DeMu, he's trying to deal with the king as well, but dives in between English TCs and longbow support, and I feel like he just kind of didn't really accomplish anything except some idle time.
Yeah, I got caught out a little bit with the hand in the cookie jar there.
And some good raids on the backside from Louis. We see 2 knights onto the berry villagers. 1 villager falls. And that's where DeMu, he doesn't have a second TC for himself. Another villager falls as well. So these few picks end up meaning so much more when Louis is able to secure those up.
Yeah, and behind this, Louis suddenly queuing up 5 economy upgrades. We're getting wheelbarrow now. We're getting the tier 2 wood upgrade and mining upgrade and horticulture.
And those men-at-arms, they still got the 2-handed axes. They don't have the heavy maces.
It's in queue now, though.
It is in queue now, but those knights are happy to take some charges into those men-at-arms every so often. DeMu going for another point of attack, but deer haven't even been taken. Actually, the gold was about to go and be taken over there, but I think Louis might just take his front gold now instead.
Does have the option to do that.
Wheelbarrow coming in from Louis.
I feel like this game has to transition into Imperial Age now at some point. I think Louis' base, especially with the White Tower, it's just way too compact for DeMu to really get some good damage in. Maybe if you get some horsemen as support, because right now it's only ranged units from Louis. Barely a couple of knights.
Yeah, this is Louis playing the game that's like, you have to do something right now. I've been on 2TC. Like, yeah, you got 4 relics, but I'm up 20 villagers, and every minute you wait and you're not dropping Swabia, I'm extending my Vil count.
No move onto any of the sacred sites so far by DeMu. Is using his prowls in the space, though, in order to inspire more villagers that are outside the range of the Archon Chapel.
Looks like Louis starting to make a few horsemen. Maybe just, knights, they're doing fine, but he's going up against crossbows and men-at-arms. Might as well just use some extra mobility as the raiding unit.
He definitely has a good food income, and now it's going to even surpass DeMu as the English farms are starting to come online.
So still's going to have a few cav units out to do some raiding. King back into queue, but mainly it is crossbows and longbows. But Palace of Swabia finally going down from DeMu. This is his great equalizer.
I'm looking at the income, though, and I feel like DeMu, sure, this age-up is going to be great for him now. He's going to be able to finally get his own economy up. But it just feels like it came in way too late, because Louis, looking at his economy, if he pulls a lot more villagers over to gold, it's going to be like a minute and a half, and then he's able to follow up with his own age-up. Even taking 2 sacred sites now.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult for Louis to match up this timing at all and still have, that villager lead for a little bit of the time. The question is how long of an Imperial Age does this play out to be? Because if so, those 4 relics do start to be a difference in the longer stages of the game. Same thing with the inspiration. Obviously, those villagers like working a little bit harder inside of that chapel range.
And there we go. Swabia
Swabia
finished up. King gets picked up there.
This is one of those, you hear Swabia, you hear opponent Imperial Age through, and Louis has a mass. He should start putting the pedal to the metal and doing some damage. DeMu is still doing the no wall challenge over here, so horsemen, knights, that raiding units can do so much into that HRE economy.
That's a big army, though, from Louis. Gets spotted out.
Does get spotted out. It's going to pick up another few units from DeMu's side, just kind of picking off some stragglers. There
we have behind us now. We're seeing the stables coming in from DeMu.
I'm wondering if he's
coming in as well.
When's the cannon emplacements on the bombard in place outpost coming in? Because that is going to be what he needs if he's gonna go through with this no wall challenge.
Sacred site has been denied, and actually
another prelate falls. That's just that means DeMu just has that one prelate in the chapel, and that's it.
Yeah, he might not want to invest into a couple more, but gold is kind of tight for him. Oh, look at the walls! No way. Louis wants to wall DeMu in?
He said, if you're not going to build walls, I'll build the walls for you. This is where your walls should have gone.
I'll protect you.
I love the outpost on the front side too, making sure he extends that network of castles bonus so those units are actually attacking with their, full attack speed. He is on top of Swabia. So if he just continues this pressure point forward, DeMu, he doesn't have that great equalizer like I talked about. There is no villager production that he can catch up with because Swabia will be focused, and there's the Berkshire.
Berkshire, and that's right next to the large gold vein. And guess where the other large gold vein is? It's to the left of that one.
Yep, Louis is making sure to secure that long-term gold. DeMu, he's got 4 relics, but as the HRE, you like making gold units, and you might need a little bit more gold than just what 4 relics can provide.
Yeah, DeMu, he's got 3 horsemen in queue now. Louis got 11. He's got many more out on the field as well. 30 crossbows. And crossbows in this mass, no matter what unit you have, they one-shot them.
Yep. Louis, though, just like DeMu pushed in earlier, he couldn't really find too much damage, but he repositions. DeMu quickly reacts, walls just doing enough here. Still a lot of eco being idled out. DeMu about to hit pop cap. He is 150 of 150, needs to build some more houses. No units coming on out. And this is a very, very important timing when Louis is pushing into the base.
It is. Behind this now, we're seeing enclosures coming as well for Louis. So as Golden come, he's going to start climbing up behind this. And these walls, I mean...
They got finished. They're done.
Yeah. You can't push out anymore, at least not with, like, hidden units. He's going to have to take straight-up engagements from now on. It's Stonewall followed up as well.
And this is where Louis, he is going to put the Sacred Site timer on, too.
God. He's got a large resource bank, but he needs to make use of it soon.
Both of these players got about 75 units out and about, but the horsemen circle onto the chapel farms. There's some men-at-arms here, but all he wants to do is just deny some of that food income for the time being, try to get a few of these villager picks. DeMu, he's just saying, all right, villagers, you can keep on gathering. I don't care if few of you will go down, but it's for the greater good.
Some of you might die, but that's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. That's the kind of situation that DeMu's in there.
Pushing forward, trying to deny the sacred site. Military mass of Louis is circling right back around from the backside. Raids are still happening on DeMu's side.
So DeMu wants to go for some raids of his own. Doesn't leave a unit behind for a decap though. But he's into Louis' base now. He's going to find that white tower though. He's going to have to push past that.
The White Tower as well is just a lot of military. He's running past with the horsemen just like Louis did, but he's trying to do some raiding. Louis going to lose some villagers to this, so good job by DeMu, but is this going to be enough? He's still up about 30 military units.
Yeah, all of this military might end up going down for DeMu, but good villager damage is being done behind this. So economy will get shrunken down a bit.
Yeah, Louis is definitely struggling to clean this up as easy as it seemed it might be, and that's just, you can't forget that those HRE units have a little bit of that extra move speed, so are able to reposition better, and reposition better they are as they are just closing the gap on these villagers trying to run, trying to hide, trying to get inside TCs.
Yeah, Louis now below 100 economy. So then we're getting some great villager picks off there, but military count inside the base of Louis starts to shrink for DeMu now.
And one of the things we haven't talked about yet is Louis is making the transition to late game units, just like DeMu is now as well, hand cannoneers, but Louis is just a leg up. He's already got 12 out on the field, and those are going to have some extra attack speed being the English.
Yeah, and behind all of that, I mean, Louis, he still has access to those two large gold veins. And that just makes such a big difference here in this one. Like, DeMu, he would long-term maybe need to go for a Stonewall up around the neutral mark at the top side. But it's so difficult getting the aggression in on the Berkshire. You can see the units at the front side trying to burn the gate down. They're just getting fired from an attack by the Berkshire. It's just such a long range on that building.
Yeah, just DeMu, not a lot of options to break out of his base. He's very kind of narrowed where he can go. Trying to deny Sacred Site. And should be able to do exactly that. Pick up that villager, building, two villagers building that outpost. There's some villagers down on the gold in the east side from Louis too that I think DeMu might scout out here.
Oh, he will. Be another good raid there. But Louis, all the military now starts to push forward into the base from DeMu.
Yeah, and that's where DeMu's lacking. He traded away a lot of his military just a second ago for villagers on the other side. He took down a lot of Louis. He equalized the economy. He's actually ahead on the economy, especially considering the relics. But Louis got a mass, and he's pressing forward.
Placements, though, for DeMu mean that all of this military here from Louis at the moment isn't really getting that much done. At least no damage to the economy being done. At the same time, though, he's losing a lot of his own units, or at least taking a lot of damage from these emplacements. DeMu just going for more raids of his own.
Yeah, good horsemen kind of taking out reinforcements, taking out villagers that are lost in that middle of the map. Horsemen still trying to burn down that fortified outpost from DeMu, and this is one where game's getting extended, and it feels like DeMu just got to be in a much better position.
Blue outpost is burning. Villagers getting pulled for the repair. Gets spotted out though by Louis, but repair will come through.
Repair going to come through. A few of those villagers go down, but DeMu's got Swabby. He doesn't care about villagers as much anymore, especially with the villager number he has. Perfect surround. This is going to be the devastating point for Louis. DeMu didn't quite fully encapsulate the surround, didn't quite close in on it, and Louis running back to Berkshire should be able to save his units because of that defensive emplacement.
Formation shuffling there. Those units were a lot faster than the HRE units. On the retreat.
DeMu choosing to take the fight into the Berkshire here. I'm not sure about this one, as your units will get evaporated here.
Yeah, it is a tough one. He does still have that movement speed advantage though, right? So maybe that is why he wants to take the fight now that he was able to like reduce the front line from Louis. But it's still very tough for him to just keep running after these units. Louis doing a great job of just keeping up with the kiting there.
Keeping up with the kiting. Reinforcements are headed that way too, so we'll have some horsemen to be that tank on the front line, cause more units to take damage from Berkshire. Wasn't as bad of a trade from DeMu as I was expecting here. Almost kind of basically even, which considering even trades for DeMu's a win. He's up in eco, he's up in relics. He just needs to get this mid-map positioning point, make sure he can re-secure gold for himself, because that is his pain point.
Oh no, he wants to get a keep up on the gold. He's got only villagers there. One horseman, that's it. He's gonna sacrifice some villagers, but he should be getting that keep up. It is gonna hurt him though. That is gonna hurt him.
Now that the horseman's dead though, if Louis can, yeah, no, it'll go up, but geez, that does not feel good at all. And Louis should know this means DeMu needs gold and needs gold bad. That is Louis' win condition here.
Behind us though, getting a lot of culverins in. With this many culverins, might even be able to start taking down a Berkshire.
Yep, 2 culverins into the mix. Wood lines starting to run thinner and thinner. Horsemen still trying to circle, still trying to find some sort of damage. Ecos somewhat even, but the relics are the difference. The relics are the key. That is what is allowing DeMu to do whatever he wants and really break out of that wall and chokehold he was in.
Yeah. Tries to go for a wall on the front side as well. Another bombard emplacement is coming in, but there's a trebuchet firing at that outpost just as it's getting the emplacement in.
Yep.
Outpost goes down.
Outpost falls pretty quick. Stone wall's not going to be able to go up. I love the transition to horsemen by both these players. They're just like, all right, these have been some hectic games. We're going to make them even more hectic. Let's run around. Let's do some raid. Let's just try to find villagers.
Behind this though, Louis, he's got his entire right side and even the front side of his base completely stone-walled. He's back at 110 villagers. And 3,000 food per minute now as the English. He's fully rocking his farming economy, and 2,000 gold per minute. Enclosures and the access to large gold veins, just carrying his gold income here.
Yeah, and it really feels like DeMu, he's lacking the walls. And this is when it starts to get worse and where he oh no. He's trying to get those walls in, but just not the greatest placements on those walls.
It's happening once again here inside the base of DeMu. This is looking more and more tough right now. We've got 4 culverins, but they haven't really been able to achieve a lot so far in this game, I think, for DeMu. Biology only just now coming in for Louis. So his horsemen are going to start being a lot tougher now as well.
A lot tougher, a lot tankier. Good little spot to take that fight there from Louis as the Berkshire is helping on out significantly. And finally, DeMu is ready to push forward with his mass together. Louis has not grouped his mass. He's been throwing away units, trying to equalize the economy, trying to do some raiding. And DeMu, he's ready for that exact thing. However, Louis' mass that he has, it's all hand cannoneers.
Some big walls coming in, securing one of the sacred sites here. That's going to be another 100 gold per minute for DeMu. Also means that the victory condition is going to be tough to reach here for Louis. DeMu, he's pushing through now, through middle of the map with a big army. Has more military than Louis. And the siege at the front as well. So can just push past these stone walls. Needs to be careful. Keeps his culverins alive.
Culverins tried to get focused down. Hand Cannoneers need to just continue to kite back here. They don't want to take fights that Horseman close the gap on, and Horseman is exactly what DeMu transitioned into. Are there going to be enough here? It doesn't look like it's such good kiting from loueMT, and the Hand Cannoneers, 40 English Hand Cannoneers with network of castles, network of citadels, I'm sure at this point. I mean, they're going to start taking down those culverins easy in one shot, I feel like.
It is a lot of them. Louis, he's doing a great job of just running around with his horsemen, trying to go for the surround onto the siege. But he's not able to get it. Horseman reinforcements are coming in, and to be fair, Louis is losing a lot of his hand cannoneers.
He is. He's been at that 40 number for a decent little bit, though. And DeMu, he was up 20 military units a little bit ago, and now Louis the one pressing forward. He just doesn't have an answer for that many English hand cannoneers. DeMu's match just got eviscerated.
Oh, DeMu, he's got to be so careful now. He's got to be so careful. The culverins, they can't go down for him. It's so much gold investment pulling back now.
And they're falling back so slow. He's running low on food, running low on gold. He's getting siege works in, but there's one culverin down. There's the next culverin that's probably going to get sniped out as well. And another culverin falls. Does the third one even? Not quite, but oh my, gold loss from DeMu, and we were talking about gold being his problem. He just wiped up all the gold on that east side of the map in that 4K in the blink of an eye. He has no more gold.
Yeah, and behind this, I mean, Louis, he hasn't even touched the second large gold vein. He's got a lot of passive gold income from the farms, which he does have so many of at the moment.
And DeMu, the problem now for him is there's a reason why he's on all those horsemen. There's a reason why he's horseman men-at-arms. He doesn't have the gold to go into higher gold cost units. He has another Colvin queue, but that's where all of his gold's going to. It's got 3,000 wood in the bank, and this is starting to tilt more towards Louis again, where I felt like DeMu had his positioning point, had his timing to try to take advantage of.
Yeah, I agree. Still over 30 hand cannoneers. Now Louis transitioning into longbows is interesting, since that's not where his economy is really the strongest in the wood department. Just evacuating to the keep. Oh, decap could coming in. Fight happening on two sides around the wall though. And then culverin goes down.
Culverin goes down, hand cannoneers still just being that backside unit. This time it's not just hand cannoneers. There's longbows to continue to fire over those walls, to continue to utilize those range bonuses that they have. Trebuchet does fall. DeMu wants a protective keep, but this is... okay.
Quite the forward keep.
Quite the forward keep under the Berkshire. I'm pretty sure even if this goes up, it just falls long-term to Berkshire.
Yeah, I mean, the horsemen, they're also getting picked apart. Horseman count is going down low once again for DeMu. He's got a lot more in the queue, but the longbows also just doing such a great job at focusing down the hand cannoneers from DeMu. Of them going
DeMu's
down.
hand cannoneer mass is in the single digits, but Louis, his is about to be falling quite a bit as well. He's got 14 more in queue, though. That is the big difference. Berkshire, I was wrong. It doesn't matter about Berkshire taking down the keep if 4 culverins are firing down that quickly from the backside, but Louis has the military mass. DeMu, he feels like he spent everything on it. He's only got 30 units left. He's got 4 culverins, but those aren't a great combat unit to take down others.
First bombard from Louis, firing onto the keep from DeMu now. Just got put up. Horseman once again diving onto the culverins.
Berkshire being rebuilt. Look at the queues. Both players just running low on, well, not really Louis, but both players just keeping as much resources into military as they can. DeMu trying to make sure this keep stays up. It's burning. It is maybe going to be falling. The culverins on the backside having units close the gap. DeMu, he's down to 25 total military units.
So many villagers went down trying to repair the keep, and now no more repair is coming in. Keep about to be going down. Culverin wants to get repaired. Didn't quite have the villagers there in time. Villagers getting focused down as well. Second Culverin going down. Still so many hand candies in queue for Louis behind all of this. Such a strong gold bank for him.
And the keep falls. It feels like DeMu now just trickling in units to that ranged mass that's just standing from Louis, not getting closed down on 10, 15 horsemen on top of the hand cannoneers now. No Berkshire here to help as reinforcings go, but still, DeMu, all of that it feels like it's gone. It feels like the steam is completely running out.
Wood in reserve, but archer play definitely not something that could really help him out here at this point in time. There's just so many horsemen and English longbows just with so much more range in comparison. Not really a fair fight for them.
Another break off of 10 horsemen, and 10 horsemen, that's more than half of DeMu's overall military here. Louis is ready to end this. He's ready to close out this series. He's up to 1. He's got longbows on top of the wall from DeMu, just firing down. No units can get close to that.
Yeah, and this is match point for Louis. Sacred Side victory is approaching as well. So many resources in the bank. DeMu, he's trying to mass up again for one last hurrah here, but Louis is even making use of the walls of his opponent. Now forward walls coming inside the base of DeMu once again.
DeMu pulls his whole military mass back to try to deal with those horseman raids, which he'll be able to clean those up, but this allows Louis to press on forward, to press on in the front of the base. Third bombard about to come out for Louis, so should be able to start doing a ton of damage to the infrastructure, to the building. Production starts to become harder to make. Palace of Swabi on the front side should get taken down here in the near future too.
Yeah, and there was a culverin in queue for DeMu, but it sniped immediately after being produced. Once again, a big loss there when it comes to value for DeMu. Might have to think about selling some wood in order to get more culverins out, but just not something that really feels good at the moment for him at all.
Not at all. Louis just played this game so slow, so methodically. There were definitely some points that it felt like DeMu had the leg up, had a huge advantage on, including still the 4 relics, but the trades have just continually gone into the favor of Louis. He's been taking some great trades, continually to do some raiding, causing idle time, and just kept that hand cannoneer mass high with the gold control.
Architects now coming in behind this for Louis as well, so all the keeps, all the buildings that he has in his base are just going to be so much more tanky now as well, so much harder to take down. Osman raids, back of the base. Decap potentially coming through.
Yep. DeMu leaving a horseman back for the decap. Louis at this point, he can probably let those villagers die and just replace them with military and actually just end this that way.
Oh my god, the red carpet strategy coming in.
I still remember early parts of AoE4 where there was that strat that was just build a stone wall all across the whole entire map, and it was just you keep your units on top, and there was just no way to stop it, it felt like.
Yeah, look at that. He's just red carpeting now with the stone wall, with the straight lines of the stone wall forward.
Villagers just still peacefully working on those farms as everything gets burned and demolished around them. Horsemen still trying to find something to do. DeMu knows he needs to do something. He has to do something, but it just feels like there is nothing to actually get done.
Even if DeMu puts all the economy now, it just feels like he can't win against the military here.
More and more stone walls. We're starting to see him snake through DeMu's base as stuff gets taken down. More walls come in. Palace of Swabia almost getting stonewalled around. And the horsemen just sitting under the Berkshire.
So many villagers went down for DeMu behind all of that. Swabia is down as well, and we're just seeing a slow push onto the last remaining landmarks now from DeMu.
Yeah, DeMu is max pop. He's got 60 horsemen out on the field, but just 60 horsemen. They cannot climb walls. Indeed, the longbows are just going to sit up top and laugh.
Laugh indeed. I mean, they're just firing from the top side. They're just looking at all the units on the ground level.
Villagers for Louis built a little box of stone walls to be able to keep his units safe and secure inside from the only melee mass from DeMu. He found out the weakness. He's like, all right, you can't get inside of stone walls with men-at-arms and horsemen here, so good luck. Now he just needs some trebs in there instead of bombards, and he's good to go.
There's 30 horsemen in queue for Louis behind this, so whatever unit DeMu kills, just gonna get immediately replaced, whether it's economy or military.
And now Louis just going to play the in and out game with these gates. He can just take down anything inside the range, and then as he needs to move out, just go out, fire, move back in, and just doesn't have to worry about the bombards ever having a risk.
Yeah, also when they're moving forward, but yeah, not something they can really reach. The landmark about to go down, the main TC.
And then
Relic's
it's
also
only two
exposed.
left. Regnants and the Chapel are the last two landmarks, both in range of those bombards, both right in Louis' grasp. Can DeMu do something to turn this around? He sends the horseman forward. He tries to take the fight. But is it going to be enough? The units just walk back on top of the walls, walk back behind the walls, and say, haha, you can't get me.
That's kind of what it feels like here at the moment. The horsemen, they're just like, hey, I'm trying to hit you, man. Stop being up there. I can't reach you. Some of the walls need to go down for the men-at-arms at least to be able to move up. If the men-at-arms go up, they do suddenly get the wall bonus where they will take less range damage. That could help them up when it comes to cleaning off up these hand cannoneers. Now horseman flood coming through. The culverins, there's a lot of villagers just repairing the walls at the same time as they're going attacked by DeMu. Last culverin, if it goes down.
Mass heal, great mass heal from DeMu, keeps the culverin alive, but is it going to be enough? I feel like the culverin's damage on the walls just getting out healed with how many villagers Louis has there. Now Bombard trading against the culverin, no stone.
He's out of
and
gold
the culverin. The culverin's actually focused down the Bombard. He's about to lose the oh! Quick repair by Louis.
The culverin again.
Another set of horsemen onto the culverin, yet again repaired by DeMu. But all of this time, hand cannoneers and longbows just laughing from the walls.
And the culverin goes down. No more siege. No ability to take down this forward, this forward little stone square. The stone wall
and
square.
Right as the culverin went down was when insufficient stone came through, and DeMu says, I don't have it. I cannot hold. Louis takes it 3-1.
GG comes in, and that concludes this set. Louis with the 3-1 victory here. Some very, very close games here between the two, but this last game just felt so methodically played by the English. Like, usually, I personally have trouble playing this matchup against the English, but man, Louis played it really, really well here with the 2TC play.
Yeah, and you could see the back and forth. The military value lead went back and forth either way. The eco lead count went back and forth, and that's not showing the relics as well. But overall, Louis just stayed strong. And I really think there's two things that proved to be the difference in this game for Louis. It was walls, and it was gold control.
Yeah, the early walls and just the continuous build-up of these walls, just making sure his base is incredibly, incredibly safe throughout all of the maneuvers that he did out there. Worked out really, really well for him then.
Yeah, and so now we'll get to check and see some of the replays from the series that we just had in front of you from that wild game that we saw that was the final concluder.
Yeah, the raids there from DeMu trying to pick up some more units here, but Louis, just with a couple of longbows, with a couple of crossbows there, able to do so well against the military from DeMu. And you can just tell, like, these longbows, with all the upgrades, they still do even a good bit better, like a very good bit better than normal archers against armored units.
Yeah, that first big trade from DeMu diving into the base felt bad, but then he did the exact same thing later on, and it felt really good. This was we thought was about to be a devastating surround, but Louis, with the repositioning, just was able to get that little bit of extra move speed bonus with the army, with the formation reposition, and just gets away from DeMu, draws him into the Berkshire, and I think DeMu ends up even taking this fight right after, and ultimately becomes a pretty even trade here.
Yeah, but man, just it's incredible just how well these units did there with the kiting. Here we had the 4 culverins from DeMu. push forward. He has a lot of units there, but just so many hand cannoneers coming in from Louis. And just being able to hold against all of these units. Now on the retreat, DeMu just losing a lot of additional units here. It feels like the Culverins just maybe needed to focus down a little bit more against the hand cannoneer mass to get it down lower, but it's such a tough situation there for DeMu to fight. And then suddenly the army just disappears for him entirely against this many hand cannoneers with the attack speed buff.
And the Culverins, DeMu was keeping them alive for a little bit, but then all of a sudden we saw the 4 Culverins drop right after taking down the Berkshire here in a second. And this is really when DeMu knew he needed to take the gold. He knew he needed to take down this Berkshire. If he had been able to resecure this for himself, maybe he's able to extend this game. Maybe he's able to get the right unit composition instead of having to go into only horsemen and men-at-arms.
Yeah. That was definitely a chance here. I mean, finally a Berkshire gets taken down. But still, even after taking down the Berkshire, like DeMu just wasn't in a position to start being able to get the gold there from the middle. Like just a gold starvation on the side from loueMT just absolutely worked out there for him.
Yep. What a fun first series of the day.